All right, what up, guys? We are live, so we have a juicy debate panel for you today. This is going to be people who view the world very, very, very differently. Who I've debated pretty much all of them independently, with the exception of Udomania. He's a newcomer to the channel, so welcome. I think a good way to start off is just letting everyone do a quick introduction because I think part of my audience will not be familiar with some of you guys. So let's just go in order. Let's start off with you, Austin, and then we'll just go in that kind of clockwise order.
Hey, I'm Austin Summers. I am a dating coach for men. I primarily teach men how to meet women in real life, and I have probably the most results in this whole industry in terms of getting students results.
Okay, Yuda.
Hey everyone, my name's Neeina, I guess, on the internet at least. Yuda works just fine, certainly less of a mouthful. I guess the shortest and sweetest way to say it is I tweet, right? I'm Catholic conservative, Catholic convert from atheism as of 2017, and I've dabbled in the content creation a little bit with videos. Don't do the streaming game too much, just engage mostly in Twitter and some level of YouTube.
Okay, cool. Neeina?
Hi, I'm Neeina. I'm Alex's best friend, of course, as we know. I'm a leftist, getting into the debate sphere recently, and I'm very excited to have this conversation with a lot of different opinions here.
Cool. Sunday?
Hi, I'm President Sunday, and I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome. Grace?
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm a streamer on YouTube, Grace Thorp, aka Joan. I stream about my family life, my e-dating life. I dance, I sing, I do all sorts of stuff.
Awesome. All right, so guys, so the way we're going to do this is going to be 3 mini topics. So we're going to try a different format today. They're all going to be manosphere-related things. These are all things that you guys voted on when I did the community post. So these were the things that got the most upvotes. So I guess these are the things that are most interesting to you. So the first topic is this. So it goes like this. The average female happiness has declined, yet women have more freedom than ever. What do you think is the cause of this? And just kick it off to anyone. Anyone can go.
I am curious if we have any information on how happiness is being measured here.
Through surveys, through anonymous surveys.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure from all the data that I've seen, pretty much happiness across the board has gone down. Again, you're right. It does depend what metric that we're basing that off of. And those can skew very wildly. But I would say probably just the old happiness of everybody is probably gone down. I don't feel like I see a lot of trends where there's a specific amount of women being significantly more unhappy.
Speaking
than
of free women, where's Destiny?
He couldn't make it. He has to pick up his kid.
He's afraid of me. That's why
I have heard that is a girl's name.
I was trying to get him on. He said he might.
That is an honorable reason not to appear.
Yeah.
He said I'm a demonic succubi, and the reason women aren't happy is because they don't listen to their daddies. That's why.
Okay, please don't start with that.
No, you have to have a good relationship with your dad to be happy, and then you can find a good man. Most women aren't connected.
You need to have a
dads.
good relationship with your mom to be happy.
You could try, but the dad is the most important.
That wasn't you didn't answer my question.
It helps, but it's not the most important thing in your life. No, the most important thing in your life is being connected with your dad, who connects you to God. And
What end should they connect with their dad with?
I don't know what you mean.
Good. Move on.
I don't either, but it just sounded like it was trying to imply something.
All right, I'll
why
They
start
is
say
it so
making
fatherless behavior. They say it for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
Fatherless behavior. You're doing things that would bring shame to your father.
Like what?
That's what makes you unstable, makes you disconnected. You think women have any idea what to do if they're not connected to men? No.
Can you give me an example of fatherless behavior?
Sleeping around, for example.
Why is that fatherless?
Let's also let Austin get a word in because he hasn't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of the issues that women face these days it's things that people face in general, and I think it's because the further you get away from how we adapted to live, you have what's it called? I forget the name of the term, but there's your genetics assume that you're going to be living a certain way, and then your environment and things that are happening are completely different, and it causes this term that I can't think of right now. But
Cognitive dissonance?
no, I
Genetic
don't know if anyone will
dissonance?
know it. But yeah, so there's certain things like, let's say, living in the suburbs that are very unnatural. Like, ideally, you'd be living with a tribe of people around you who are your family, who are your friends, who are your current or former lovers. And it's like people that are in this tribe, they're all supporting each other, they're all helping each other. You have access to clean drinking water, you have access to local organic beautiful fruits and vegetables and animals that you're hunting. You have a sense of purpose and belonging. You have a family that is there for you. You have your kids. You have a support network of people around you. And a lot of people these days, especially in America, don't have that. So I'd say men and women. But one of the things for women that I think is an issue is that a really important thing about being a woman is your ability to have and secure a mate, to have like children. And on top of that, now women are being expected not only to have a man, to have kids, but also to be, career driven, goal oriented. And it's so overwhelming to think of being a modern woman that it is kind of intense. I feel like there's a lot of economic pressures. And then on top of that, you have like there's the mental health issues in general caused by modern society, modern capitalism. You have, seed oils. You got people eating stuff that used to be machine lubricants like canola oil. And now that it's causing a lot of neural inflammation, causing their brains to have more anxiety and depression. So you have like all these factors because of you're in a discordance with nature, when you're expected to basically, live a certain way, but now you're thrust into this modern society, the civilization that's extremely complex. And there's so many things that are happening that, no one on this debate will probably even uncover, because we don't know what we don't know. So there's a lot of things that living in a discordance with nature cause depression, anxiety, mental illness. And then on top of that, you have social media, which women, they're always like, a lot of their sense of self-worth is based around how they look, because that's their ability to, get a mate. And then they see girls on Instagram that are hotter than them, or they got these guys. And it's just like the comparison bias, the comparison of like, they say comparison is a thief of joy. You're comparing yourself to these girls, and then that has really bad self-image issues. And for women, I think their mental health issues just completely skyrocketed after the advent of cell phones and social media. So it's really sad what women have to go through these days, and it's sad what a lot of us have to go through. But those are some of the things that I think cause this issue with less happiness in women.
Let's see if anyone disagrees with any of that or wants to respond to that.
I feel like most of the
no
things that you
disagreement.
listed there would apply to both men and women, and I don't really see that as a direct critique on why women are like unhappy outside of like,
Well,
yeah,
the
for
prompt
social
was
media
the
there is
average
more
female
pressure.
happiness has declined.
Right.
Yeah,
but
women have
again,
more freedom than ever. What's the cause of this? And I think the
Canola
cause of it
oil.
is because you need
canola,
to
yes.
have belonging. You need to have certain responsibilities, and you have to live in accordance with what your genes think you should be living like. So
What are your genes?
I don't know if
think
it's
that you
is
should
it supposed to be
living like?
compared to men or what?
How do genes think?
Well, I thought it was interesting. You said it was important for women to having children. Like, again, it's one of those things. Like, is it not important for everybody? If that is
No,
your logic, right?
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Okay. So, I wanna go with, you said something about canola oil giving you like some sort of brain inflammation. Could you
Yeah,
go into
so
that a little
different
more?
oils that people use and cook with haven't been used prior to like 1900. They were used as machine lubricants, and then they basically thought, how
Okay.
can I turn this into an edible thing? So, like, for example, canola oil has like erucic acid. They had to decrease to the point where it's not deadly. They couldn't even feed it to cattle prior to a certain point. And then cottonseed oil was like the first modern seed oil, and it was made out of cotton seeds, which again, that oil would kill you as well. But they managed to get a certain.
Okay, I'm a little worried with the phrasing they. Who is they in this situation? Like the food companies, or doing some JQing, or what?
Yeah, food scientists basically had to find a way to decrease the amount of like erucic acid, for example, in canola oil. Canola oil wasn't even used until like the 1970s for food.
Okay, so
and it's used in
what
almost
is
everything
causing
we
it
eat.
is, do you actually have any proof that that is the case, that you get a neural, I think you said inflammation?
Yeah, neurological inflammation. Yeah. So any inflammation in your body can also affect your brain. So if you're eating something that's highly inflammatory, like let's say, the worst would be, like if you have some fried food that's been, the problem with seed oils is when they're in like a vat being cooked, they produce more of these byproducts that are even worse. So forget the name of I'm a dating coach, so I'm not like a nutrition scientist, but there's some byproducts
from.
Worse.
But we do have confirmation, though, that the Jews do not control the food industry. These are separate entities.
They do not. Oh, let's hear from Eudaimonia. He hasn't said one word.
Yeah, I was wanted to hear what others had to say to some extent. I guess I do have one question about the prompting question itself, because the question is that reported happiness has gone down despite women being freer than ever. And I guess my gripe would be with the use of the word free and what we mean by freedom. Are we just meaning absence of external restraints? Are we meaning the ability to? So it's just the absence of external restraints, not necessarily anything else. So you are free to do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Exactly.
That's okay. And so, I mean, if that's our understanding of freedom, that's an understanding of freedom that I take some level of issue with, because I don't think that's really an ennobling understanding of freedom, because it no longer empowers people to live in any kind of way that is fulfilling. Absence of external restraints are certainly necessary, but not sufficient for freedom. I think for freedom, you also need ennobling programs, be they through public or private means. But I think that to suggest that one is free solely when there are no external restraints placed upon them is a threadbare definition of freedom. Again, it's necessary.
I think you put your finger on something that I would agree with. There's a neuter understanding of freedom, sort of between that and sort of like the freedom of nature, where you rely on societal constraints of a certain kind to give you things that you are free to do, but you don't necessarily have to scaffold that with some notion of like virtue or whatever, right? So that's another degree there that you could put in between those two.
Just to really quickly put the prompt to rest one for all. So a recent group of studies have found that women's happiness levels have dropped steadily over the last few decades, to the point where women now report lower happiness levels than men. So yes, men's happiness levels have been dropping off, but the point is that they've been dropping off. Women's happiness levels have been dropping off more than men, and now women are on average less happy than men. So that's kind of what is the initial discussion for the prompt.
What age groups is that too?
I have to look into that. Hang on a second.
Question.
It's a Berkeley article.
I would be curious to know what would motivate zeroing in on sexual ethics to explain women's unhappiness. It's not clear to me that we're doing that for men's unhappiness, which is apparently going down as well with women's happiness. I haven't seen the study.
Well, that's up for you guys to debate. That's not really my
okay.
Oh, it's a
all
question
right.
for the
So
panel, yeah.
women have
with the
more
president.
freedom. But what about this? So women have more freedom, so we can choose to do whatever we want. But how about this? We need to freely decide to submit ourselves to men. For example, if you look at like hoes and pimps, for example, like if you look at prostitution, if you take prostitutes who like do their shit on their own and they don't have a pimp, they are much happier when they connect with a pimp. Even if they make less money, they feel safer, and their happiness is overall improved when they have a man controlling them.
Did you just make that
couldn't
up?
that? No, you can look it up.
You're the one telling me the information. What am I looking
I don't
for?
have the studies offhand, but it's obviously true.
But Grace,
a woman
if you will,
selling, like I'm saying, this is just an
but do
extreme
you have?
example. But a woman,
Could you recall, for example, like the name of the study, the name of an author, anything?
no. But it's
All right.
clearly true just based on human nature. I mean, a woman selling her body to
Well,
other
then
men.
why did they bother with the studies then? They're wasting their time if it's obvious.
Well,
Isn't
I'm
it?
just saying you can look it up and find that it's true. But a woman who
Can
sells
I?
her body.
Okay, why don't you do it for us since it's so easy? You clearly done it before.
Well,
The
you
links
look
on
like you're the
Google-
kind of guy who's got a
the
lot of
links on-
studies and research.
yeah, but I'm
so
drunk right now. The links on
yeah,
Google.
you
The
do-
links
you
on
do.
Google will be blue. If you search for something in the past, the links on
Independent
Google will be blue.
prostitutes,
You can do it really
independent
fast.
prostitutes, they
Okay,
make more
got it. You
money,
made
but
it
they
up.
waste their money on drugs and like stupid
Wait,
things. When they have a
Neeina,
when they have a man controlling
I believe
their
her.
money,
I just want to see the study first.
go look it up. It's obviously true.
But I don't know. I don't know what to look up.
Is this study in the context
Based.
of prostitution
Look, go in-
specifically,
Yeah, like
or,
pimps
or women in general, or
Go into
prostitutes?
your-
Yeah,
go into
women
your
without
search history,
prostitutes
just find it
without
first.
pimps versus with pimps. Look it up. It's true.
I don't
I'm
think
just saying
that
that's
should
an
be a
extreme
good
example.
sample. I don't think prostitutes, whether with or without pimps, should be the basis for our should be our sample size.
But women
the
essentially are
prostitutes with the pimp
and women
do
essentially
better?
are prostitutes in a certain way. I mean, in a sense, getting married is like prostitution. You're signing up to be used
God.
like whore by
fellow
one man
radical
for the rest
feminist.
of your life.
My people.
I'm not a radical.
Yo,
I'm not a
are you
feminist
the
at all.
female
I'm
John
Catholic
Zerka?
centrist.
I
Oh,
don't
that's
mean
very
to be.
that's a high compliment. Thank you.
I don't mean to be inflammatory, but I don't think
Nah, she be dropping
prostitution
more
is
N-bombs.
one of the sacraments. I think marriage is one of the sacraments. I don't think prostitution is a sacrament.
Did I say
I
it was a
see.
sacrament? No, I'm
Well,
not
you
saying.
said
I'm not saying
prostitution
it's-
is like marriage.
Yeah, you don't really say.
Well, I'm saying in a certain way, you're signing up to be one man's hoe for the rest of your life, right?
Well, if to be one man's hoe is
no.
to not be a hoe.
Right.
Well, yeah, but like you are your husband's whore, right? You please him.
What
I
is a
just
whore?
just quickly looked into the pimp thing. So I can't. The one thing I was able to find was that it seems that prostitutes who have a pimp get into illegal drugs and have their first sexual experience earlier than non-pimp controlled prostitutes. So therefore, the article is concluding that it might be more dangerous for a prostitute to have a pimp in her life. But I don't know in terms of like money or whatever. I haven't found that part.
But
Just
less
a sign.
fulfilling. But less fulfilling without, yes.
I mean,
I
yeah, there's
can't comment on that. That's the only thing I could find. All right, keep going.
What do you define as a whore, Grace?
I mean, there's like a colloquial definition, but like I would say somebody who sells her
no,
body
yours.
for sex. Somebody who
Okay,
sells
so
her body.
how when you're getting
Her
married
money,
to
sorry,
somebody,
who
are
sells
you?
her body for money?
Oh yeah. So how is that akin to what you're saying with like marriage? I'm a little confused on the connection there.
Well, I'm being hyperbolic, but I'm saying in a sense,
Right,
when
okay.
you sign up to be married to somebody, you're signing up to be that man's whore for the rest of your life. You please him, right?
But you're not selling yourself to him, right? Presumably, even under a very traditionalist mode, you're in.
No,
a
you're not.
relationship
No.
with-
You're not selling yourself to him. Obviously, there's more involved, but I'm saying, like, in a sense, the pimp and the prostitute reflects marriage in a certain way. The man controls you. You sign up.
But
to be
I'm
his
controlled in a
hoe.
similar way as a pimp controls a prostitute by my boss at a retail store. Am I?
That's correct.
I'm
Yeah,
married to
your
my boss?
boss's hoe. Yeah,
I'm married to my boss. Okay.
you follow his lead, right? You
But
what he tells-
I'm following Alex's lead right now. He's the moderator. I'm Alex. I didn't want this, but
Alex is our pimp daddy. Absolutely.
This is
Alex, tell him to get back on that track and make that money for you.
Why do you think women used to have dowries? Why do you think women used to have dowries? It's a deal. It's a deal between two people. It's similar.
That wasn't
It has
dowries were not
correlation to the
were not
so
made by the
relationship.
woman. If it was by like their like dad or whatever, like that's a very very silly relationship.
I'm
think-
sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What did you say? I'm
I
sorry.
think this is leading to a more interesting.
Dowries are not
thing.
paid to the woman. Dowries are paid to their dad
Yes,
The
right.
dowries are
The
paid by the
woman.
father.
or by the
Right,
dad.
right.
Sorry,
The
sorry,
woman,
sorry.
the woman had
So
a
that
dowry
backwards.
that was paid to the groom, right? But the groom was also going to provide financial, like, support.
Right, we don't do this anymore.
Well, we don't do this anymore, but it's still a deal between two people. It is a deal.
But that's not
Okay,
all
would you
it
say a
is.
partnership would be the same? Like, I mean, like, do you think that in most like relationships, like it's just like the dude, like, just whatever I say goes, fuck you, bitch. Like, do you think that's like what your view of relationships are?
I mean, I think that's a hyperbolic take. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have
Well, I'm
much
asking
relationship with somebody if your wife is like a slave to you. I don't think most men want that, but I do think ultimately they should have the control. Yeah.
Why?
Of course, every business, every corporation, every entity that has ever existed in human creation has had one leader, not two.
That is literally not true. Have you ever heard of like a board? Like, are you serious?
Yeah, and there's a head of the board, right? There's somebody who makes the decisions. There's one president. There's one king. Obviously, it's human nature.
So if I may interject here,
Go ahead.
are you saying that prostitutes are happier with pimps because they need a man? So in that from that point that women need a man to be optimally happy, is that your overall point?
Yes. And I would say it's very difficult for people. For example, I have massive daddy issues. I have massive issues with my father and with other men. But I would say overall, trying to connect with my dad has helped me more than hurt me. Have you ever met a single woman? Have you ever met a woman who's like a career
Never.
I've met a single
on her own?
I've
They're
never
crazy.
known.
They've got no idea what's going on. They have sex with random men. Their validation system is completely off. They're hopeless. They're depressed. I mean, obviously, men make women happier.
Well, I think that gets at Austen's point that people are generally happier with community, and we've seen a complete erosion of authentic and organic communities from the mid-1900s on, especially. I don't know if this is necessarily contingent upon the sexual or romantic relationship. I think that certainly can be one. But I mean, I think reported levels of folks in seminary is actually quite high on happiness because they have a different form of authentic community. So I think that it needn't necessarily be a pimp-prostitute relationship, and probably shouldn't be. But I think that we have seen a complete erosion of community, I think, due to the automobile, due to the proliferation of really our economic order as it exists today after the Second World War, the nature of how people are made to work, and also, college debt doesn't help anything either. I'd be curious to know the internet doesn't help either. I think any forms of community on the internet that people flock to are illusory. I mean, they don't.
I
disagree with that. I wouldn't go that.
Yeah, I
You're
disagree
a
with that.
Catholic, right? You're a Catholic, right? I'm a Catholic as well, right?
Are you?
Yeah.
Pimps and
Born and
prostitutes.
raised. Born and raised. So, wouldn't you say the core of society is family?
Reformation.
I'd say the core building block of society is the family. Yes.
And the core of the family is marriage, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so really the core of society is the relationship between men and women. And as Catholics, we would say that the woman is submissive to the man, right?
Well,
that's the proper order of things. Doesn't mean the woman is. I'm not Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm not saying that women are lesser beings than men. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying just as children are submissive to parents, women are submissive to men, and
women
men
are
submissive
children.
to Christ.
So what's the thesis?
No, Neeina, that's an oversimplification. Come on.
Don't do
Yeah,
it.
well, I can't nail you down on anything that you're saying here. You just kind of keep saying that.
Well, yeah, I guess what's the conclusion?
Yeah.
So the relationship between men and women is fundamentally flawed right now because women don't freely choose to submit to men. They're freely choosing to be independent because they feel like that gives them more control. And I understand that, obviously, as somebody who's online, who's like talking freely as a woman, I understand that like you could make the case that I'm trying to be an independent woman. But what women really need to do to be happy is freely submit, just as men, to be truly happy, need to freely submit to God. No?
Who told you that? I'm a little worried for you sometimes.
My daddy, Neeina. My daddy told me that. What'd your daddy tell you? What'd your daddy tell you, Neeina?
But Grace, where'd your daddy get it from?
He's a master. He has a master's in theology. He got it from a pontifical.
You got it from a what?
Pontifical
what now? You got it from the Pontifical Academy.
Grace, where did you become so based?
Dork.
How did you become?
Pontifical Academy? Pontifical.
Where did the Pontifical Academy get it from?
From the teachings of the Catholic Church.
It probably got it through a Catholic charter.
What I'm asking you for here is warrant, sort of like an endless chain of, well, they got it from the woman who sells the gem, and she got it from the postman, and you know?
Endless regression, is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Well, I mean, the Catholic Church simply recognizes basic truths about humanity. Look through the Catechism and tell me anything.
Well, where does it recognize? Well, hang on. Where does it recognize them? From God. So we have like correspondence. Then we've got like we have like the.
Have you ever heard of the Bible,
dude? Yeah, who wrote the Bible?
Men inspired by the word of men.
God
Okay,
write
this
the Bible,
is going to
Grace?
get off topic. It's going to turn to
It
a
is.
God
We're getting
debate,
into a
listen.
religious debate. We're getting.
Oh,
into
Grace.
Oh, yeah, 'cause that's what all the arguments
Side
are
topic.
You don't have
So
to make
let's
it
say-
religious. I'm not coming from a religious point of view. I'm just saying it's
You just
obvious.
said you're a
Literally, you literally just did.
Yeah, but you can argue it
entire
as an
argument.
atheist. You can argue
You
it
just-
as whatever. I'm not coming from a
All right.
religious.
More importantly, though,
But you were
though,
arguing
Grace,
as a
John
Catholic
Zerka
based
proposes
upon-
to you. Do you say yes? And do you change your name to Grace Zerka?
John Zerka is kind of a simp for women. I don't know about that. He
Let's
gets
say he's
validation.
like, I'm tired of- I'm
he
tired
gets
of being a simp,
validation
I'm
from
ready.
having sex with women. I mean, that's kind of a turnoff, honestly.
If-
I want
What if
him
he's
to not
over
give
and he's
a-
giving his heart to your Catholic
Yeah,
God?
his body count is like 7, he said.
Yeah, he doesn't like sex or something. So
But he's had 1,000 blowjobs, apparently.
Okay, well, something
That doesn't
off there.
contribute to your body count?
He's a mama's boy.
Wait, yeah,
Grace,
does that
stop
not count?
dancing
You know,
around the
John
question. Do
Zerka's
you
a
say
fucking
yes?
pussy. No. John Zerka's a fucking pussy. He agreed
Hey, I
to do
gotta
a
defend
debate
my
on modern.
boy. Stop.
He agreed to do a debate on modern day debate with me and Infrared about the patriarchy, and then he just dipped for no reason.
Yeah, do you know anything about Zerka?
I thought men were supposed to hold by their
Wait.
intentions.
So
I thought men
hang on.
were supposed to
John,
follow through,
no,
right?
slow down.
You're a free man,
I just
you
wanna-
tell men how to be men.
I
Fuck
just
you.
wanna-
Apologize.
I just want to dig into this a little bit because I am perplexed. If you'll just indulge me for just a quick second. So you want to argue with Zerka on the patriarchy? Were you arguing for the
No, he
patriarchy
was
on
arguing
behalf
with
of the
for the
patriarchy?
patriarchy. He agreed to be on my team, and then he ditched
Oh,
with
I
no
see.
excuse. That's some feminine behavior, isn't it, Zerka?
Sorry,
You
you
big
got
man,
blown the
big tough
fuck out
guy?
by me, Grace. My bad.
Alex is just like, yes, start the beef on my show, please.
I mean,
He owes me an apology. Isn't his whole thing about how men are
No.
supposed to follow through and be the leaders, and he agrees to do something and he just ditches with no
Zerka's
explanation?
my other
Yeah.
best friend. I will
Yeah.
not have this slander in this house.
That's not slander if it's true. It's not slander if it's true.
When you do
Alex, moderate.
kind of affects your judgment a
No,
little bit.
don't.
You know, I'm gonna
It's
move.
Zerka on here. I want him to apologize to me
Dude, he
live
doesn't
on
want- he doesn't-
air.
He doesn't want to talk to me. I'm not red pill enough for him. Anyway, listen. Let me move on to the second
Let's talk
question,
more about canola oil.
because I think this is going to get things juicy. Does a woman's body count lower her desirability as a partner?
I mean, obviously, everybody knows that once a woman has sex with 9+ people, her vagina is permanently stretched to the point of unuse.
That
Okay.
is
Basic
true.
biology.
Wait, are you
No,
trolling or
I
you
don't
actually
think
Tell
so.
us.
Tell us what the inside of a vagina feels
As a
like.
serious
I
answer,
don't
I
think we
feel like
need to
they improve it because then they know what the fuck they're doing.
I think
if that's what you think happens after having sex, then you haven't had sex with a woman, because it's actually one of the recommended
you-
things to tighten a vagina is to have sex.
No. I'm saying knowing what they're doing. Do you think that? Okay. Also, that is objectively not true that is a thing. But okay, let's move past that. I'm saying, would you not want to fuck somebody who like is like terrified to
guess-
even like look at your dick, or somebody who knows how to fucking like go full in and get the balls, do the whole thing, like all of the things, like somebody who's
No,
experienced?
obviously,
Would you
men
not be more
prefer
interested in
virgins.
that
Obviously,
when it comes to a
men
sexual
prefer
experience?
virgins.
Okay,
Men
I don't
prefer
care.
virgins.
Why?
Because nobody wants, like, okay, do I think women can have sexual experience and have lifelong like marriages? Absolutely, I do. I think like men and women are both like, we have porn addictions. It's crazy. I'm not one of these people who says like, if you're not a virgin, it's over for you. I think that's a ridiculous point of view to have.
Okay,
But
come on.
obviously men prefer women who are only going to bond with them.
Why?
Obviously that's true.
Why?
Because if you're a virgin, you're going to bond with the man who like the first man you have sex with extremely intensely. He's like, you know, everybody says you remember
Why?
your first, right? That's clearly true.
Why is
The
that?
first man who penetrates you, you're not going to remember. You're not going to bond with that person. It's obvious.
Well, I imagine if you like probably got assaulted, that probably would not be the case.
if you get raped and he takes your virginity, okay.
Well, what if picture this though?
Like average.
What if you reach adulthood, you're just horny, you hook up to somebody you're not necessarily into, but they'll kind of go along with it, and you're not really into them afterwards, but you still had fun doing it. Are you therefore like bonded with that person permanently? How would you establish this?
Are you saying for the woman if she does that?
Either or.
Either.
Well, I would say it's important for both men and women. Obviously, the ideal marriage would be two virgins because then they bond with each other for life and they don't have any experience of other people. I think actually
Or
one of the I believe this is a study that like one of the worst one of the worst ways to get married is to marry a girl who's like had one sexual partner before, because then she's comparing the two for the rest of her life. Like, if you're going to have sex,
can you compare
saying
3
that.
or 4? Like, what's...
Yes, but once you have experience, then like you detach from that initial bonding experience. But if it's just one, like, it's going to be tricky for the next guy.
Why do you think
who
so?
marries.
I know a few people who, for example, have had like a really passionate fling in like late high school or whatever, and they got married and they have stable relationships, but they never like fully get over it. You know?
Doesn't that prove my point? They had passionate flings in late high school and they get married later, but they never really get over it. Isn't that what you're saying?
No. I think my point, you were saying that they disentangle after a couple of partners from the first one. But it seems to me that the intensity of a relationship or the meaningfulness of it or the memory of it isn't determined by the order in which it occurs.
Mhm.
No, it obviously is. Your first is obviously a special experience.
Would you consider like if you're bisexual? Obviously,
Nobody's
a lot of us are talking
bisexual.
about nobody. Oh, I guess news to me.
I mean,
Nobody's bisexual.
I'm not even gonna get
Women who
go
are
ahead, I'm sorry.
okay. Women who are bisexual, like, okay, they're just obviously giving up if they have sex with a woman. It's not even sex; it's ridiculous. And men who are bisexual are gay.
Giving up.
There's no bisexuality.
Well,
but
no,
they
both
have
of them
they
are
have
gay.
sex with women though, as well as men. So they're
Both
not.
men and women.
Most gay
who
men
are
have sex with
bisexual
women.
are both
It
gay.
doesn't mean you're not gay.
No, it doesn't. But when you're talking about gay versus straight versus bi, you're talking about who you have a sexual attraction towards. You're not talking about who you.
If you're a man and you have a sexual attraction to men, I don't judge you, but that fundamentally
But
makes
what
you
is-
different
what
than a
is-
straight
what
man.
is
You're not
the-
bisexual, you're gay.
But why though? Because the meaning of the word bisexual is you're attracted to men and women. If you are, it seems trivially true that you're bisexual, sort of by definition.
You can say you're bisexual, but I mean, there's a massive difference in dating a
Yeah,
man
well, here's what I'm perplexed
who
by.
wants
Wouldn't
to
you go
suck
but
dick
Grace,
versus a
hang
man
on.
who would never suck dick.
I
That's
get-
a
I get-
All
massive
women are
difference.
bisexual.
Okay,
All
hang
of them.
on.
Literally every
Nobody
single
cares
woman
about
is
lesbianism
bisexual.
anyways.
Everyone
Nobody
that
cares
says they're
about
lesbian is
lesbianism.
bisexual. Everyone says they're straight is bisexual. Every woman on earth is bisexual.
That's wonderful.
That is literally a hill I will die on.
Because of canola oil. But I am curious, Grace, just very quickly. Why wouldn't you go in the other direction and say that, for example, there are no gay men if gay men are also having sex with women? Wouldn't that be the more obvious conclusion if you're going to go one way or the other?
Well, what
not
do you
there
mean
are no
by a gay
bisexual
man? Do I believe that there are men who are sexually attracted to other men? Yes. Do I believe that there are men who are going to be like that they are fundamentally oriented towards men? No, it's a mistake in their upbringing. I'm straight, Austin. I don't
But
find
that
women
would
sexually
that
attractive.
would go.
I'm not a
that would go in
lesbian.
the direction.
Your-
Have you ever
your
slept in a
theory's
woman's
wrong.
bed? Have you ever kissed a
Hang
girl
on.
before?
No.
You've never kissed a girl before, even when
Wow,
drunk.
what are you, gay?
I'm
Oh,
sure you'd like
why are
to
you
see it,
smiling
but
and
I've
looking
never-
away,
No, I've never
Grace?
have.
Interesting.
I was ashing
Huh.
my cigarette, Austin. I've never kissed
Oh,
a
really?
girl. No.
Are you just saying that for social desirability bias so that you get along
I
with
like
your
dick,
Catholics?
Austin. I don't find pussy interesting. What the fuck? It's disgusting.
You d-
Why would I find pussy interesting?
So
Well,
back to the
for-
prompting
First
question.
off,
You
You came out of one, so that's
You
nice.
would, hopefully, but I wouldn't. What's interesting about a vagina to me? What am I gonna do? With it? Put a strap
The
on?
anatomy, you can make it.
What are your thoughts
squirt,
on
like,
titties?
There's a lot of cool things that fly out of their ping pong balls. You never know
Also,
what'll
what
come
is
out.
it?
James would
Squirting
agree
is
with
a
you
myth,
on that.
Austin. That's just pee.
I mean, it's still squirting, isn't it? Just because I don't think
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Austin,
don't
of
think-
course, you would have. I would hope that you would have that point of view. That
'Cause it's not-
pussy's
what-
interesting to
is
you.
it-
Why
is
would
it-
be
is
It's
it a-
actually there's
I
some
have
female prosthetic fluid from the Skeens glands,
Is,
Grace.
is,
Okay,
are
it's not.
penises interesting
It's only
to you?
It's only 99% pee. First of all, second of all, what was your question?
Are penises interesting to you?
I mean, I have a giant 47-inch dildo. So what do
Yeah,
you
that's
think?
he's the wrong person.
Austin, why are you arguing against me liking dick? What's the problem? I'm 100% hetero.
Well, Austin is not the right person.
All right, slide in my DMs.
Very
Prove it.
convincing. Oh, stop.
Oh my
That's
god.
right.
Maybe I'm
All right, so
You guys are crazy.
where are we at? So does a woman's body count affect her desirability as a partner? Grace.
All right, here's why it affects her desirability as a partner.
Mhm.
First off, men have the certainty of paternity thing, right? We want to know that if we put a baby in this chick, that it's ours. She's not some floozy showing her ankles. Like after the dress comes down, she's not showing her ankles. Any of that kind of slutty behavior that would indicate that we are not the father. Oh my God. What? Up to your knees? Are you out of your fucking mind? Dude,
Burn the witch.
the degeneracy of this generation, bro. So that's one of the things. The second thing.
Wait, you weren't supposed to talk about
is-
that on stream, dude. I thought that we had like an agreement here. Never mind. Go on.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. It's in President Sunday's OF. His spicy links are in the description.
For sure.
That's I think that's the main point, is that any species where the male what's it called? It invests less than the female, it's going to want to kind of guard the female, so there's a natural mate guarding that happens. Dude, I have the weirdest fucking... These are like the two weirdest facts I know about evolutionary biology. One species of insect, literally after it inseminates the chick, basically snaps its dick off, and its dick stays in the vagina, so no other men can reproduce with that female insect. The other one is a female is a male insect that after it ejaculates, its sperm like coagulates like concrete in the female's vagina, so like nothing else can get in there.
Do you also think that we should eat the heads of people we fuck?
Listen, don't knock it till you try it. Try anything twice, right? How open-minded are you?
I mean, if we're talking about like insects, it seems really silly to like try and do that comparison. You realize how silly that sounds.
No. I am drawing a comparison in general with there's a natural mate guarding that happens in almost every
insect
species.
men.
Right? There's some species less.
If
the men does.
Okay, so naturally, some ladies after they fuck, they eat your head. So do you think that we should be determining those things based off of what's natural?
Dude, some girls.
I mean, rape is natural. Like that seems like a very stupid way to have a philosophy based off of just what's natural. We have a society for a reason, right?
No, there is. It's not just like there's this. What's this called? There's this bias or whatever. This fallacy.
Engage in homosexual copulation all the time.
Also, being
Austin,
gay
what do you do? Watch insect porn?
Fallacy. It's like if it's in nature, then it's fine, and you can take the good from nature. Like, you can kind of pick and choose, right? Obviously,
pick and choose. Okay.
What is it? A quarter of people died at the hands of another man 10,000 years ago. That doesn't mean we should kill a quarter of people, right? It means that we should, take what's good from nature, and then you can, all the stuff that's kind of like the worst parts about humanity. We can, instead of them killing people, you just get them to play violent video games or, scream at people on the internet and the debate, right? We can evolve.
So then following through, why did you bring up the natural aspect? Maybe I just didn't understand what you were saying.
Yeah. So I brought it up because it impacts a woman's desirability if she's had many partners, because men, first of all, I can tell if a woman has experience. I do have a lot of experience with women, so I can tell the difference. But I can tell if a woman has slept around a lot.
I got a
question. Doesn't it impact men?
And that impacts her ability. That impacts her desire. Can I finish my point? That impacts her desirability as a partner, because what is this?
I just have a quick.
That impacts her desirability as a partner because
Sunday, go put on a nicer shirt and stop eating and come back.
Men prefer women who are less floozy.
Quick question for you, Austin. A very important question. Okay. You have a pen and paper handy by chance, or at your desk, I presume?
Yeah, actually, give me 1 sec. My Chinese vacuum cleaner is going to come in my room.
His Chinese what?
Vacuum cleaner?
I'm accused of being into incest porn. I've never met a man who's into incest porn.
Austin, very quickly, you have a pen and paper?
Interesting.
Okay, can you draw for us an anatomical representation of female genital anatomy for us, please?
Oh my god! Yeah, Sunday's never seen one. Can you draw it for him so you can get to know it a little bit better?
Who knows what he's doing?
That's funny.
So I guess to one point, you make a claim that having a high amount of partners in the past would reduce a woman's desirability, but to my mind, it would equally reduce a man's, at least in social respects. I mean, because these things can indicate sort of preferences, lifestyle choices, lifestyle decisions. So I could say that high body count would reduce desirability. just by virtue of the fact that it might indicate something about how the person approaches sex or physical intimacy in a way that I don't share. And so it can be, in that respect, something it can be, hey, well, we have a different attitude on this. This is not something I share with, like, for example, I don't. If someone told me they had a high body count, I probably would not want to pursue a relationship with them because we have a different approach to intimacy and sex. So I think that's certainly a fair way to think about it. But I don't know how that would equally, or rather unequally, apply only to women, because to my mind, if a man engages in that behavior too, he is promiscuous in a way that I would say is probably unattractive as well.
So I'll respond to that. Women look at men as kind of like status objects. And one of the things that are cues to a man's status is having multiple partners. Because as you increase up the dominance hierarchy, you do get access to more and more mating opportunities. And that's just how it is. Resources flow to the top, women flow to the top. So that is one of the reasons why it is slightly different for men than it is women. I'm not someone to say like, oh, a man can have 5,000 partners and a woman should have 0. I think that's kind of also equally, it doesn't make sense. But I think, and I agree with you that some women, if they see a man that's like, he's just sleeping with hundreds of girls, they're like, that's a bit much. That's like a disease risk. He's just accruing different strains of the HPV virus. I don't know if I want that. And then also, like their future with them. How am I going to have a future with a guy if all he likes to do is meet new women? I don't see a future for me with that man. Now, are they interested as like a one night stand? Maybe, but that's one like caveat I would throw in there.
Well, one of the issues with a man who sleeps around a lot is that he gets validation from women, and therefore you own him as a woman.
So I would say that a man that does get a lot of sex, he doesn't need validation from women. I will say a caveat. I'd say about 15 to 20% are exactly what you're describing. However, most of the guys I know that do really well with women, they just love being around women and they love themselves. Like they have very high self-love. They think that they're awesome and they love hanging around women. They love feminine energy, and that's just something that they really
But
like.
if they love women, then they wouldn't treat women like that. They wouldn't hurt them like that. They get validation from women and from taking something from women. They're slut makers and, they're worship pussy.
Yeah, so on one hand, you could see it like that. However, there are women that do enjoy a man that has that kind of lifestyle. They just want access to it. Like you look at like a Dan Bilzerian, you could look at, they just want access to a cool lifestyle like that. They like the guy and he's completely upfront, like our buddy David Bond. He has 4 girlfriends. They all know about each other. They all hang out together. So as long as you're transparent about it, I think it's fine.
Polygamy, polyamory? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's different than sleeping with a lot of girls. How does sleeping with a lot of women make a man more manly? How does sleeping with a lot of women make a man more manly?
Yeah,
he's out of control and gets validation from pussy. That's a turnoff.
Okay, so you're doing a straw man. It's not, you can't just be out of control and get women. Like there's a lot of out of control homeless men. They don't have 3,000 women sleeping with them.
Well, but that the women he's sleeping with are low value women who would give it up for a guy who obviously they're just going to be a notch on his belt. Players are loser men.
So I wouldn't say a woman's
on low self-esteem women, and the guy who gets validation from low self-esteem women is a loser. No.
Do you think no high self-esteem women want to have more than one sexual experience in their lifetime?
High self-esteem women would not hook up with a player because they know they're just another notch on his belt. And what's appealing about that for them? They give him validation for sleeping with them.
Let's say they're traveling. See, the thing is, you're looking at it as win-lose. I see
Alex.
many win-win situations.
No offense.
Most human arrangements with relationships are win-win, right? Otherwise, there's no point to stay in it. There obviously is more attachments in this type of stuff, but generally,
a high-value woman wouldn't sleep with a man who sleeps around because they know that they're just that he just wants sexual validation.
Let me paint you a scenario. Let's say you, for example, you're a high-value woman, Grace.
Absolutely.
The third. So let's say you go on vacation. You're in Hawaii. You're in Mykonos. You're having a great time with your friends. You're just like at some beach club, getting some sun. You got a Mai Tai. And then some charming, suave, good-looking, cool guy comes over and he's like, "Hey, what's your name? Nice to meet you." "Oh, Grace? Sure. Cool. Yeah, my name's Brad/Chad.
You want to do some role play? Hi, Austen.
Hey,
what are you doing here in Hawaii?
Just catching some tuna, going some surfing. What about
All
you?
right, would you do a platonic or romantic date?
No, Mykonos is in Greece, by
Do
the
you
way.
like bubble tea, Grace?
Do I like boba? Sort of. Okay, well, sorry. I'm sorry. I derailed. What's your point? Sorry.
Well, I heard there's a cute surfer guy that's down to get boba with you later.
Are you a wingman now in this fantasy?
No, I'm just saying for myself. I'm beating around the bush. But yeah, cool. Let's get boba. And you go get bubble tea with him. You're having a good time. He takes you out on the waves. It's midnight. You're on a surfboard at midnight. The moon is lighting you up. This guy kisses you. You're so aroused. There's so much buildup. He's barely touched you, but it's just the touch is gradually building up more and more and more. He does your role plays that you like. He does, he wears a white collared shirt. He's doing everything right,
He pretends to be your dad. He does all
and then
that.
he brings you to his place, this epic penthouse view of all of Hawaii.
Austin, is this
shows
your
you his
gay
native
fantasy
art.
about a surfer boy? What's going on here?
And then you go to his room. The music's vibing. He's got the relaxed playlist by Austen Summers playing.
I wouldn't go to a man's room alone with him. I wouldn't go to a man's room.
No, of course not.
Unless I was
You went with
intending
your
to have
friend
sex
and his
with
Gotta bring
friend.
your dad.
You went to play. Do some karaoke.
Put
You
some
went to
nicer
play-
clothes on. You look a bit butch right now. Maybe if you listen to your dad, you wouldn't dress like a dyke. Sorry, go ahead, Austin.
Who?
Yeah, and then basically things are getting more and more intense, more romantic. You're making out with him, and he just deals with all the pressure. He's like, "No, baby, no worries, baby. We can take things slow. Like we don't have to go fast." And then maybe that was just the first night, and then the second time he takes you out, same thing escalates to the point, and you're like, literally, I can't control myself around this man anymore. He is too arousing. I need him. And then literally, he's like beg for it, and you're like, please fuck me, daddy. And he goes. And you okay, and
You
then
should
you
write a
spread your
gay
legs
novel. You should write a gay
and
novel.
then you take it.
No, okay. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, people make mistakes, obviously,
Oh,
but you'd have to like.
why
if you
would
put
it be a
yourself in that
mistake, Grace?
situation-
Why
if you
couldn't
put
this
yourself
lead
in
to
that
a bigger,
situation with
beautiful
guy,
romance?
you'd have to. But if you put yourself in that situation with a guy, you're kind of saying like, I am willing to have sex with you. Otherwise, you wouldn't go alone to his room.
Yes, but there's a gray area, Grace. It's not black and white. It's not. Putting yourself in Hawaii could also be, a gray area there too. You're in a vacation spot. You're in your adventurous headspace. You're putting in a position to meet someone like me.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a girl can sense if a guy just a girl can sense if a guy just wants to get into her pants, and if that's what she wants to do, then that's fine. But obviously, if a guy just wants to get into her pants, then he actually isn't interested in women. He's just interested in the validation he gets from having sex with women. And therefore, that's a turnoff unless you are a low self-esteem woman and you get validation from an attractive guy wanting to have sex with you.
Now, let's say that during that conversation, he's with you for 7, 8, 9 hours total over the course of those 2 days. He's getting to know you. He's qualifying. He's like, Grace, I love that you have outspoken, based Chad views on this. I like that you're Catholic. I like the XYZ. And you just feel like, damn, this guy's life is like this. And my life is like this. And then we interact on 75% of the things. And it's like, we have so much in common. We have similar hobbies. I like this guy's energy. He smells good. He looks good. I wonder what he looks like without the clothes on. And then, so over the course of that, it can happen. Now I'm saying there are 3 brain systems that deal with seduction, right? There's lust, which is like, damn, this guy's hot. I want to fuck him. He acts like he acts like John Zerka. And then the second brain system, and lust makes you have sex with someone.
Yeah, do
The
you want to
second
fuck
brain
John
system
Zerka?
is romance. So you
Austin,
enjoy
let's say
seeing
all
them
this is
repeatedly.
true. Let's say all this is true. I would throw it all away if I had sex with him. I'd throw it all away. He'd instantly see me as somebody who doesn't care about herself as a woman, who has low
Story
self-esteem.
time, Grace.
No
I had
longer
sex
be
with a
interested in
virgin, and I
If
dated
I
her for 3
really,
years.
really liked him,
and I
I'd
didn't
want to
look
spend
down
time with him
down
for
on
the
her because
rest
she had
of
sex
my
with me.
life. If I really, really liked him, I'd want to spend time with him for the rest of my life. And if he wasn't interested in that,
Here's
I
where
say,
I'll disagree with you.
I don't
Catholicism
just throw that
flips it
away.
it flips the natural order. So you're putting sex after marriage. So what happens with that is you start with romance, then you get the long-term attachment commitment, and then you get sex. What I'm proposing is you obviously don't indiscriminately you have sex. You have sex with men that you respect and that are worthwhile. Then you build romance. So you see them, a lot. And then over the time with romance, you build attachment, and then you build that really strong bond with them. Now, I'm not saying you should go out to the club and fuck any guy that makes you feel pretty and validates your daddy issues. I'm saying obviously screen for that, but you know, if it happens, why not take the shot?
But I mean, okay, but sex clouds judgment, right? Especially for men. If you're having sex with a woman, you get hooked on the dopamine, on the pleasure. You get sort of addicted to her sex. So you can't, the sex that she's giving you. And pregnancy is also part of it. What if I get pregnant from one of these guys who I'm having sex with? What am I going to do?
Well, that's
Kill the
only
baby?
have sex with men that you wouldn't be mad to have a baby with.
Okay, but then, so if I have sex with them and they have no commitment to me, but I could possibly bear their child, that's stupid for me to do, isn't it?
Grace,
Yeah,
that's what facials are for God's sakes.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's what facials are for.
You're not going to get a Kwisatz Haderach with that attitude.
If you swallow his babies, you won't get pregnant. That's one. Number two, condoms.
Well, that's emasculating for him, isn't it? Isn't that emasculating? I'm going to kill your sperm?
No, we don't.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. What am I going to do? Make him wear a condom, put plastic wrap over his dick? No. That sucks.
Well, that's your choice.
Really? I feel like.
Wait, do you agree to that because that's what the Pope says? Like you shouldn't have condoms. You know, he says that basically because he wants more followers so he can have more power.
Have you ever seen a guy put on a condom? I mean, I'm not like I've watched porn. Let's just say it's emasculating. You have to roll it. You have to take it off, roll it over your dick. You're essentially putting your dick in a plastic bag and then you're putting it inside of a woman. It's totally emasculating.
I'm not opposed to raw dogging you, but I would like to start with a condom first because I want to make sure that you feel like I committed to you before we have raw sex.
How is a condom commitment? It still could break. There could be issues.
Grace, it's commitment because I want to form a life. I want to build a family, Grace. I want to have 12 Catholic children.
Putting a condom on commitment. What are you talking about?
You know what? Fuck the condom. Let's just skip to marriage.
Okay, here you go.
Why did they dip?
I don't know. I guess they were digging the discussion. I thought it was funny as fuck.
Okay. Well, I think we're getting at truth here, which is good. That's the important thing in life is truth.
I don't know why they didn't say anything. Like, yo, man, can we talk about this? They just
I don't know.
Straight up.
Actually, I like the guy in the top right. He was
I wanted to talk to him. He was Catholic. I don't know.
Dude, that could have been your future ex-husband.
You guys were
the least predatory.
You guys were too deep in your little surfer roleplay fantasy. That
said something. I don't know.
Well, okay.
Neeina, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? You're a fellow woman. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? What do you think?
You want to be more specific about your question that you're asking?
Well, what about like this thing I'm saying with Austen? Like he says sex first, then you build intimacy, then you make a commitment. I'm saying first you build intimacy, then you have the commitment, then you have sex because sex clouds the judgment of both parties. And if you have sex randomly or casually, it's stupid for the woman and for the man. But let's just say for the woman because she could get pregnant and then she's going to have to like kill a child or raise a kid as a single mom. And also she will she will bond with that man and then that will lower her value for other men because, you know, she's bonded already with another man. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? Like, what do you think?
You know a lot of things right there. I think that you know my positions when it comes to like abortion. I absolutely think that abortion should be legal. So we're addressing that point. I think that it doesn't really matter what order it is. I think like the idea that you have, like your worldview that you have about these things being so fucking rigid. I'm not sure if Austen was saying that it was going to be that rigid, but I know you, and I know you have a very rigid viewpoint when it comes to relationships. You got to do like, oh, we gotta like level up, like we're playing Pokemon or some shit. We got to get different levels. No, people are different and people bond in different ways. And I mean, like, there's like people. I mean, apparently you think that there's no gays or whatever, but as I guess a gay, like there absolutely are gays. And I think it's very silly to and very close-minded for you to think that what other people feel. No. What you know that what other people feel for each other, people are attracted to different things. The same way that people might be attracted to like, I don't know, like blonde women or like tall people or whatever. People are attracted to different things and people live different lives.
Okay.
And,
so you're bisexual,
and it's
so you're
very
bisexual, right? You're
bisexual.
Okay, so you're bisexual. So what I don't understand about lesbian sex is that it always seems to involve a fake version of a penis. So I don't understand, if you're going to have lesbian sex, why not just get a penis? I mean, it feels better. Obviously, that's what you're attracted to. Why not
This is
just
what
get a
I'm
piss
saying,
involved?
and why you are so uneducated about how You ever heard about eating pussy?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Grace, I'll send you some links later of some lesbian porn. We'll give you.
Oh my God.
Lesbian porn is boring, Alex.
Oh wait,
That-
Grace, let me ask you.
I do agree with you on that.
I mean, would you not think that maybe somebody who has the parts that you have would maybe know how to pleasure those parts more than somebody who does not have those parts?
Watch it, Neeina. That's my wife.
I think the ideal thing that would pleasure me would be a man's penis. So I think anything a
You think
lesbian
or
would
you
try
know?
to do would be an attempt.
Wait, you think? Are you wait? Are you a virgin?
I don't answer questions about my sexuality online.
But I think it's kind of important to just.
It's not important whether I'm a virgin or not. I know what I like.
mean,
I like dick.
it really
not-
makes a lot of sense that you're saying dumb bullshit like that if you are, because I mean, I would believe that you are, because that's a very stupid thing to say.
I'm pretty sure that a woman pleasuring me would be extremely boring. What I find interesting is
Do you
the
think a
other.
guy-
That's the whole point of sex, is that I find men attractive because they're different.
Do you think
than-
having your pussy eaten is boring?
Fairly, yes. I don't understand how men can do it. I think
Well, I
vaginas
mean,
are
I don't-
disgusting, but, you know,
That
I give them
you can
credit for doing it.
How is
You
it
don't think
I have
that's
no
disgusting?
idea how they can pull it off.
When did Grace turn into Myron? Vaginas are gross.
Are you like a closeted trans man? What's going on here, dude?
I do have some masculine qualities. Yeah, I'd like to become a little bit more feminine. I consider myself somewhat trans masculine as a emotionally. You know what I mean? I'm very feminine physically, obviously, but you know, I do have some masculine characteristics that I'd like to be more in touch with my femininity.
Wait, Grace.
Alex
so you-
has some hormone.
Wait,
people that he
you
can
want to
get in touch
be
with.
different than who you actually are? I don't understand why you think the masculine qualities are bad. Wait, are you being a what's the opposite of misogynist? The other side? Misandrist? You're being a
Misandrist?
misandrist right now? You think
Against
masculine
men?
qualities are bad?
No, I don't. I just think when a woman is more in touch with her masculine side than her feminine side, that's an issue, because she's going to come across sort of masculine. And I think I'm not very in touch
Why
with my
is that
feminine
bad?
side. Oh, because I am a woman, so of course I should be mostly in touch with my feminine side. But there's a yin yang, obviously, to all people. You know, men have a feminine side, women have a masculine
So
side.
you don't. This is what I have a problem with you. You don't say anything. You just kind of like say words. You literally just said that it's bad that you are in connection with your masculine side, and then you literally just said 2 seconds
saying
later
it's bad.
that I think that yes.
I said
you literally
I said I'm
just said-
overly masculine. I'm overly masculine.
You are
I'm
not
a
overly
wayward
masculine.
hoe. I'm a wayward hoe. You know what I mean? I need to get back in touch with my feminine
Who's
side.
also a virgin.
Hey, you can be a hoe and be a virgin.
I don't think you can be a hoe if you haven't had your pussy eaten at any point in your life, girl. I'll be honest with you.
You
Wait, Grace,
absolutely
do
can.
you really think vaginas are disgusting?
Well, I mean, objectively, genitalia
They're
on
pretty
both
cringe.
the males and the females it's disgusting. It's not for looking at. That's why we line up like this and not like this or this. It's not for looking at. You're supposed to do it, you know, the Catholic way, under a sheet, lights off,
It seems.
wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
it
Have you
seems
ever talked to
Wait, do you think
Big?
vaginas are more gross than penises?
Yes, I do personally.
Because this is like what I made fun of Myron Gaines for, because there's a clip of him saying vaginas are disgusting, and I
They
was
are
like,
objectively. Have you ever looked at one?
I was like, you have to be like borderline gay to think that, but
That is the most virgin shit I've ever heard somebody say.
but then,
I mean, objectively, when you're in the mood, yeah, sure, you love it. Fine. For men, I don't understand how they can do it, but sure. But like
Do you think
objectively, if
somebody's
you're
like
like,
mouth
oh,
is
snot-
gross?
look, you tell me any man who looks at a vagina after he just came and he looks straight at a vagina and tell me that he doesn't say like, ugh.
well,
I
that's-
don't care what random dudes say. Like, yeah, I'm sure like somebody is the first time they've ever seen one. Like we've all seen the
you
blue
just bust
waffle.
me out. You'd be like, babe, let me look inside your vagina.
I actually got complimented once by some dude, and he was like, "Oh, your vagina is so pretty," and it was like something that he was really into. So it's not like this is a across the board thing.
Well, you would only do that if you cream pie her, and then you can watch the sploosh trip out. But
Yeah,
aside-
sure, yeah. There's some qualities there that people like. You know, I think they're kind of interesting personally.
I mean,
Neeina,
I'm not
I have
anti-sex.
I have a
of course,
question
you know.
about your background. You don't have to say the answer. I don't really care that much. But have you ever dated a man or had sex with a man?
I am currently dating a man.
Proves my point. All women are bisexual.
I think
not
most people.
bisexual,
Wait,
Austin. I'm
to go on then. I do think that most people are probably on a spectrum of bisexual. I think that there are definitely some people who are just like only into like being straight, or they're only into being gay or whatever. But I think generally most people do, and I don't think it's women. I think women are more like honest about it, is my guess, because we're toxic masculinity about not wanting to be gay. I think that spectrum is probably more because socially women are more socially aware of it, and also more willing to admit or talk about those things, where they haven't been conditioned in the same way that I think men have, where men don't have the ability, or not necessarily the ability, they don't have the same social ramifications of being like, okay, well, I'm also into both, kind of, because then it's like, oh, what are you, like, super gay? I guess that's what Grace is doing, but like, yeah, basically,
Well,
that's the
actually,
reason
no,
why
actually,
a lot of men.
well, actually,
I'm not done. So I
Okay,
do
you've
think
been
that
going for a little
generally
while
that
here.
I'm wrapping up. That's how this goes. I think that generally it is not crazy to think that like people are just only into men, or people are only heterosexual, or people are only homosexual. But I do agree with you that I think that most people are on the spectrum of being in the middle, of kind of like, certain characteristics you like here or there. And I think a lot of it, unfortunately, is socially conditioned to like be like, oh, well, you can't be gay because that's like super lame or whatever.
So I don't think it's socially conditioned at all. I think it's genetic. Women evolved bisexuality as a strategy to decrease tension inherent in co-wife relationships. So let's say you have like this really high status guy in the tribe. You are going to be sharing him with one or two, maybe multiple other women. So the reason bisexuality evolved was to decrease that tension inherent in that kind of relationship. Because if you have a wife over here, you're like, fuck, is she getting more resources than me? Is she getting more attention than me? Is she getting more XYZ than me? So there's this natural tension that happens. And then to decrease the tension, bisexuality kind of evolves. So doesn't necessarily have to mean like full sex, but it's like, making out with them, or like being more touchy. Like girls are just in general across the board.
How would you explain that? Sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just think women are in general across the board more touchy. They're more likely to like sleep in a girl's bed like overnight. They're more likely to shower together, go to the bathroom together, like do all.
Right, but that's
like,
more socially conditioned, though, right?
So you're saying
what you're describing is a version of social conditioning.
What I think is that your society is kept on a leash by genes. So culture can only get so far away from genes before it's like, oh yeah, that's too much. That's a quote by the naturalist E.O. Wilson. He says genes keep culture on a leash.
Okay, but I'm saying, okay, so the ancient, you ever familiar with the ancient Greeks?
A little bit, not too much.
I know
they love fucking their boys, dude. Like they love that shit. But they were still like obviously like having wives and shit, but they just love fucking their boys. It's kind of like what the frat houses are.
Yeah, but I think that's almost always like a power thing. It's like
no.
I'm the schoolmaster and you're like the school child or something like that. In ancient Greece. I'm not supporting it. I'm not supporting it. Neither's Neeina.
You actually were not considered being gay if you were a top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that was also a very common thing. It was a lot of like ladyboy stuff. There was a little more complicated things than that, of course, but I don't advocate for. But I'm just saying, like, we're talking about what has happened in history.
I think the Greek thing is a lie. That's a lie.
But with men, it's either gay or straight. There's like 2% bisexuality.
You want me to give you a source, or?
I think.
I would say I don't understand gay. I don't understand gay tops, because why would you prefer an anus to a vagina?
Well, I have to ask you then, like, okay, so if you think that, like, just, and I think that we have this issue when we have a lot of these conversations that we're very Western brained, which I find is very selective when it comes to like, I know like Alex, you sometimes mentioned about like Eastern women or whatever. And I'm not familiar with you, Austen, but I just know of the pickup artist community that does seem to be like kind of a talking point that you guys bring up quite a bit about the difference between Eastern and Western women, and I do find it odd that you don't talk about the difference between Eastern and Western men, where I think there's we're talking about like Thailand. They have a lot of different words for. They have like like 5 genders basically that they associate with. Some of them being like, we all know like the lady boy, Thai lady boys, right? And they're not they're not considered like just they're like a subsect of being like a male. You're not being feminine by being a lady boy. You're just portraying yourself in that particular way. It's a lot more complicated that I feel like we don't give enough credence to when we talk about relationships like this, or like our interpretation of how we have a relationship with it being not so rigid. Sorry?
Why do you think that is?
What do you think? What exactly is the question? That it's.
Why do you think that we don't, as I don't know, people as society? Why don't you think we talk about that as much?
It's probably just not familiar. I mean, it's kind of a little esoteric in a way that it's or not esoteric. Maybe it's the wrong word. It's just not something that we grow up with. We a lot of us tend to sometimes. Because that's how the world works, right? Where you generally make your worldview off of what you see, right? So if you're not familiar with other cultures, of course you're not going to, be aware of that.
But Neeina, Eastern cultures are generally considered extremely traditional. And then you do have weird sex workers like ladyboys, but that's
you are like literally a child, Grace. Oh my God, are you serious? Eastern cultures are incredibly complicated. Have
you ever heard of I mean, this is the PWF channel. Have you ever heard of passport bros? They literally go to Eastern countries to find traditional Asian women. That's
you understand why that's the case, though, right? Because a lot of them have gotten fucked over by, more than anything, American imperialism. Where we don't have.
Oh, he finished his wank off session. Welcome back, Sunday.
I love that.
Exactly.
Okay, but like where we it's not that it's the culture to be interested in Western men. It's that they're wanting to get out of poverty. So they want to find some way to be, I assume you're talking about like kind of like the like Russian bride type things, right?
No, like literally Asian women. There's like a huge fetish for Asian women because they're considered to be more traditional and submissive, which they generally are. The East has very, very traditional, strict gender roles, and there are only
before
really
we get
two
into
genders.
the whole passport bros thing,
really
the
racist.
Reason I think,
I'm going to be honest.
I think
that's racist. I'm just saying have you ever heard of a guy wanting an Asian bride?
You realize I'm an Asian woman, right? You understand that?
Well, what does that have to do with it? You're a Western woman. You may be Asian.
Yeah, it's racist to say that all of one type of like Asian woman are the same. It's very racist.
I'm saying that's the stereotype. You're saying that Eastern cultures have more genders and they're less traditional, and we in the West have strict gender.
You have a child's interpretation of Asian culture, and I find it honestly kind of offensive.
Wait, what I'm curious about.
I don't care what you find offensive. Stop mommying me. How old are you?
Wait, can I learn what the other 5 genders are? We have the male, female, and
hold on.
What are the others?
Are you really pulling the SJW card right now? You realize that there are men in this chat.
Bitch, shut the fuck up.
No, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. No, don't do your racism thing. Don't do your racism thing. Apologize for that. I'm not fucking racist because I say that Eastern culture is generally considered to be more traditional. I'm not a racist for that. Fuck you. Apologize.
No, you kind of are actually.
You are.
No, I'm saying it's generally considered much more traditional. Generally, Eastern culture is considered much more traditional.
You always backpedal like this. You're a fucking child.
That's literally what I said. I said Asian women are considered more submissive.
Well, yeah, you have to compare country by country.
That's generally true. That's not me being racist.
Like, Thailand would be more traditional.
That you are saying all Asian countries are the same is fucking racist, you dumb bitch. Like, do you not understand that?
You're the one who said Eastern Western. Now you're saying I'm characterizing them all as Asian countries. I'm saying Eastern culture.
You did say that. You literally said that.
Eastern
you literally
and
said
Western
that.
Asia and Southern Asia is generally considered to have more traditional cultures than the West. The West is absolutely like the gender. Everybody's exploring different things. Gender roles don't exist.
You're literally just saying things.
All right, YouTube boxing match coming soon.
What was your question, Alex? I'm sorry.
This 9/11, Grace versus Neeina.
My question was, what are the other 2 genders that they have in Asia?
Oh, there's like we're speaking about Thailand. I have a doc. Give me 2 seconds.
Well, it'd be
Yeah, but-
particularized.
What
It'd be
kind of person
particularized.
suggests there are only 5 genders?
Wait, you have a
It would
Google
be.
Doc on this?
It would be
I
particularized.
have an image,
Oh
dude.
no,
No,
I have a
but-
research document.
Nina's like, let me
How
pull
am
up
I
all,
racist if she characterizes
Asian
Eastern
gender
European,
Google
if
Doc.
she characterizes Eastern countries as being more liberal, and I characterize them as
I
being
didn't say
more
that.
traditional? Yes, you
Because
did. You
No,
said
I
in the
didn't.
West we have these strict gender roles, and in the East actually they have like 5 genders. There's things called lady boys. They're more liberal with their gender roles. So
I'm
aren't
just
you
giving
the
you
racist?
information.
Because
In the U.S.,
okay, so
there's
I'm just
70
giving you
How is that
information. If I'm a
racist?
racist, you're a racist.
I said Thailand. I didn't say all Asians have.
You said the East. You
have-
said Eastern
Christ,
culture.
no
No, I
one's
specifically
racist,
said
Jesus
Thailand,
Christ.
my
We
girl.
don't
All right, then
wanna
tell
be
Nina to
fucking racist.
apologize because I'm not a racist. If I'm a racist, she's a racist because we're both
None of
talking
you
about
guys
Eastern
are
West.
racist.
She's just being
All
a
right, well,
fucking
hey,
SJW.
so my
You
take on
very
it,
not
the
true.
reason why dating podcasts focus more on men and women is because that's a concept that is the majority concept, like 98 percentile of everyone identifies either man or woman. So that's also like the most reach because it's the most applicable to everyone. If we start talking about, all right, now let's do 15 minutes on, I'm Zimzer and you're per/V. It's like, it's
Only
hard
pronouns
to
are a
make,
different conversation.
it's hard to make those connections.
Mommy Nina
So,
wants to change
that's
the
why I
subject.
think
Go ahead,
is that
mommy.
way.
You want to mommy the whole
Well, I
panel?
Also,
know you're talking about
what is it? The
men.
1
Go ahead. Lesbian mommy.
I think it's
over
like
here wants to
1.9% of
mommy
people
on
are
the
born
panel.
like intersex, and they usually identify with either man or woman. So
Nina,
If you
get
represent
my-
Asian women, then Asian women are dumb as hell, and I am a racist. But I wouldn't characterize all Asian
Oh.
women as
well, that's
dumb as
statistically wrong. Well, it depends on the country, but yeah.
Nina, did you get my message by chance?
On what?
Twitch chat.
I don't know.
What
how
are
to
you
add
sending
you
her
on
private?
Okay, we were
messages?
talking about
Like,
passport bros. I wanted to make my point, and then you were not bringing.
All right, let's
passport bros.
let's let Austin make his point. Go ahead.
No, I already made my point. Is that the reason why these conversations focus on men and women is because that's like 98% of people identifies that. So
Well, also the reason that the master talks about the female nature in other countries because they're all pretty much straight. So why would we talk about
dude,
men?
and Alex, that guy I used to collab with all the time. He covers the other 2%. So
Who? Who are you
the guy
talking
with the tattooed knuckles.
Oh, here we go.
about? Oh Christ!
Is that you with the TV there?
Don't bring that up. All right, let's move on to the third topic since we got everyone back. Is marriage a bad deal for men?
Can you define what you mean by deal?
Is it a bad idea? Is it something that men should
Oh,
avoid?
idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if they want to, go for it.
In America, yes. It depends on the country, but yeah, in America, yes.
You have a little brother. Would you advise your little brother to get married?
I mean,
So
if they
it's
want
getting to the point where I don't know if I should advise people that want wives to like go to another country for that, or have like just an ironclad what's it called? What's that document you sign, prenup, and like get it vetted by tons of people to make sure it's good. But even then it's like there's issues with it. So it's like I don't even know. I don't know.
So
Everything's kind of in flux.
This is what my girlfriend says. We always debate on this because I disagree with her. Marriage is the worst idea for women. I think it's the worst idea for men. But I think actually it's the worst idea for whoever makes more money, and typically that's the man.
Yeah. Also, there's like a huge. This is where Christianity and like the Catholics actually have a leg up. Is that there's a third less divorce in Christian communities. Of people
A what?
that
A
like,
third less divorce? What do you mean?
Yeah,
yeah,
Catholics.
it's like 35% less divorce amongst
Oh,
Christians
Yeah,
that
Christian-
attend
Christian-
church
Christians
regularly.
get divorced less. Yeah, sure, that's true. But
well, Catholics
doesn't-
don't believe in divorce at all. But I mean, it's a religious versus civil issue. The civil thing still applies. But if you get married in the Catholic Church, you cannot get divorced
I'm pretty
because
sure there
a
are
marriage.
conditions. I'm pretty sure there are conditions of lawful divorce.
No,
in the
no,
church.
you cannot get divorced. You can have your marriage annulled if it never happened.
What do you think, Eudaimonia?
She is correct, actually. There is no such thing as a canonically valid divorce. There are
I think
annulments.
it's this.
Because
there
how
are-
can you agree to be with somebody for the rest of your life and then break that agreement? No, it bonds you for life. There's no such thing as breaking it.
Well,
All
there's
you
a lot
have
of
to say
reasons
is
many
one or the
contracts
other party wasn't able to make that commitment in the beginning. Then you would say the marriage is not invalid.
So wait, if your wife cheats on you or if your husband cheats on you in the Catholic Church, can you get a divorce from that?
You can't get a divorce in any circumstance. Either you'd be permanently separate. I mean, it depends. Either you'd be permanently separated, or you could apply for an annulment and say, like, this person wasn't mature enough to agree to a marriage in the first place, and the
That
what do you
sounds
call
like
it?
that sounds like semantics in the
Canonical court would have to
extreme.
look at
The outcome of that is divorce.
But the essential answer is no. The essential answer is no. You married that person, they cheated on you. Okay, you can't get out of it.
Yeah, but that's just being squeamish about the word divorce. What you're describing is a
So let's say your wife
that's
goes
not
through
a
midlife
theological
crisis.
differences.
She starts reverting back to her younger self. She goes out and she gets banged every single night by like a train of new guys. What happens then? She goes fucking insane. You're still no divorce and you can't get remarried?
No, if you find out something about their personality, if it is that like if there's something about them that you didn't know, that you had no way of learning, that materially affects the marriage, you can apply for an annulment.
But let's say she changed. Like, so when you married her, she was that like really good person, and then like I don't know, around 2022, she watched like fucking Sex in the City or something, and she realized she has a propensity for having a large amount of black men fuck her. So what would that be like? What would you like? She just completely changed. She does a 180. Like, would you then be allowed to get a divorce?
I think that I'm not a theologian or a canon lawyer, so I won't pretend. I don't want to speak with authority because I'm not sure the mechanisms through which you could end the marriage. I'm made to think you could, but I don't want to speak to it.
No, I don't mean to speak over you, but there is no divorce as a Catholic. There is no divorce. You can't get out. If that person changes, for example, let's like a sort of a different example.
How is that a good system?
Wait,
You're
just hear me out.
trapped in a marriage that with someone, let's say 20 years from now, you're done with them. You don't want to talk to them. You don't like being around them. They're abrasive to you in conversation. You want to get out and you can't leave.
Well, what is
and then
is
you
a
go to
marriage?
marriage counseling and nothing's working.
What is a
and then you
marriage
just
if it's
pretend
not a
okay?
lifelong commitment? Well, for example, let's say you get married to somebody as a Catholic.
Okay.
Let's say you get married to somebody as a Catholic and they get in a car crash and they're in a vegetative state. You cannot leave that person. You can't divorce them. You can't have sex with somebody else. Whatever happens, or let's say they're paralyzed. You are committed to that person, whatever happens to them. That is the only way that marriage can have meaning. Otherwise, it's something you can break at any time and therefore has no meaning. You may as well not get married at all. What are the vows? What are the
Great.
vows? What are the marriage vows?
You don't have to have a lifelong business partner to have a very valid, meaningful business. And likewise, in a relationship with a woman, I wouldn't say I need to be with a woman for 75 years to enjoy our time together. Everything is changing. Everything is finite. My turn, Grace. Respect the mic. The second thing is, dude, now I can't even think. Okay, whatever,
Sorry.
Grace. Go ahead. I'll make
Why do people say,
I
better
was
for
just saying.
richer for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish until parted by death? This is my solemn vow. If you don't mean it, then it's meaningless. It has to be until death.
Emotions
Why
change.
does everybody
This
say
is
that?
the point I was
Grace,
making.
Grace,
Everything is in flux in the universe. Everything is finite.
They
Things
both
change.
leave again?
Yeah,
And in
the fuck are
fact,
they doing? They're
What
just,
is
like,
going on here?
playing like fucking weird.
Things have meaning because they're short. If you had a marriage forever, it would have no value because anything that has, let's say you played a game of soccer for 4,000 years, it wouldn't be that interesting. Soccer is interesting because it's like, I don't know, what is it, 120 minutes or something.
Okay,
So-
when you get married to a woman, will you say, I hereby take these vows till death do us part? Will you say that?
Probably not because I don't believe it. I think it's stupid. I think
Okay, so you'll say,
if I'm with a-
I
if
hereby
I'm with
take
a
these
woman-
vows until I choose not to. Is that what you'll say?
I've literally told this to girls. I'm like, I would literally be with you for like 15 years, but I can't promise you more than that.
Okay, well, that's not a marriage. A marriage is a daily commitment to
Okay.
be there, support that
Well,
person.
mine would be a commitment, but it wouldn't be a Catholic marriage. So
Wait,
commitment
Grace,
for 15
also, aren't
years?
millions
That's
of
not a marriage.
Catholics
Why
getting?
did you say
How
until
effective is the
15
Catholic
years
Church
do us
at
part?
preventing people from getting divorced if millions of Catholics are getting divorced?
Well, I mean, they don't ask the church about that. You can get civilly divorced, and you know that's
well,
that's a
let me
problem.
let me ask Grace this one question. What do you do if your husband beats you on a daily basis?
So
If
she
your
said
husband
it's a
beats you on a
problem if
daily
you could do a
basis-
civil thing, but it's an issue. So the only way you could have what you're describing is if you have a Catholic state, which is like there's no separation between church and state. You basically
Wait,
have
Arthur,
like Saudi Arabia for Catholicism.
Let her answer my question.
Okay.
What do you do in that situation?
If your husband beats you and you got married to him validly in the Catholic Church,
Yes.
well, you can't leave him. You can get separated from him, but you are committed to him, and you can get separated. You can apply for a permanent separation, but you cannot choose
What does
another
that
man.
mean?
You chose that man. If he's causing harm to you, you can separate permanently if that's, but you chose him. That's why you should consider when you get married who you're choosing, because you're saying till death do us part, no matter what happens to you in sickness or in health. If he's going through a mental crisis, if he gets addicted to something, you can be separated. I'm not saying you can't have physical separation, but you cannot leave him for somebody else, because then essentially those vows are meaningless.
So you have
That's
to be
pretty cucked
single for the rest
behavior.
of your life then?
Hmm?
You have to be single for the rest of your life then?
No, you're not single. You're married. Your partner. Look, people can fail in a marriage. That doesn't mean you're not married. It means they're currently failing. And
Why
they need to
do you
better.
want to be miserable for most of your life if you get separated 15 years in?
Well, that's religion in a nutshell.
Well,
True.
no, because what does that commitment mean if you don't commit for life? What does that commitment mean?
I don't know. You tell me. What does it mean?
I just told you can have a meaningful relation. Have you had a boyfriend before?
No, not really.
Cap.
Be a girl. Not really.
Not
Well, explain
really.
what you mean by not really. You had like a relationship.
So
I went on a few
if
dates
you
in high
haven't
school.
had
I
if
didn't
you
know
haven't had a
about
long-term relationship, then that kind of makes sense, because
Yeah. How
I've had
long was the
relationships that
dating
are
for?
2 years long, 3 years long, and they are so awesome. Like I can still to this day talk to those girls. We still are in touch. And
you
we just
used
moved
some
on.
girls for
We
sex
found
for
that
a
it
couple
just-
years. How is that a good relationship? You didn't like them
Okay,
enough to
why
commit. to them.
You didn't say that.
Why do you diminish
clearly that's
a
what
entire
happened.
relationship that someone has down to using for sex?
Because that's what happened. Unless you guys commit to each other,
You think
just
all
use-
relationships
Are there no
are-
other parts of a relationship to you than using someone for a meat sock to ejaculate into?
of
Is that
a
what you think
sexual
human
of a
relationships
romantic
are?
relationship of a romantic relationship? If you don't commit
Grace,
to each
less
other, then
pornography, more in-person relationships. That's what you need. I'm going to heal you, my child, and a
Oh,
little
God.
bit of lithium orotate.
would you
that-
recommend that I get in a 2-year
Oh.
relationship with a guy who's not going to commit to me so I
Yes.
can bond with him
Yes,
sexually?
because you get relationship
Wait, no, that's what
experience.
you're advocating for. That's
People-
literally what
people
you
always say
advocate
this on
for.
the red pill. They go,
In marriage, it doesn't make sense without a commitment. If a guy's not committed to me and I could potentially have his kids and bond with him, how does that make sense for me to do?
Well,
well,
can they
for
just-
one, you get relationship experience. Number two, you get sexual experience, so that when you do meet that guy, you
Relationship
can actually
experience just by talking to different people. It doesn't have to be romantic.
know, because you have to have
also get
conflicts
romantic
that only
experience
arise when you're in a relationship that's romantic.
Courting somebody gives you experience. You can date as much as you want, but it doesn't make sense.
I can
to
tell you one
bond
thing: you can't yell at them like you're yelling now to resolve
Okay,
all
well, great,
disputes.
great,
You have
great,
to deal with
great,
some
great.
things
Am I really
like
yelling? Am I really
tenderly
yelling?
with
I'm
some
sorry. I'll try
tactfulness.
to-
Do you still live at home?
Well, it
right?
is a debate, Austin. I mean, come on.
You
Shut
still live
up.
at home, right? You still live at home, right?
Add
Dude,
bitch,
how many
add
ciggies are you
Add
smoking?
bitch. Add bitch.
You
Don't
could
worry
literally,
about that.
if
Don't
you
worry about
increased
that.
your lay
Don't
count by
Alright.
3 and just gave up cigarettes, you would be more desirable. I will say that.
Okay,
Cigarettes
that's-
make you less desirable than lay
If I
count.
had 3 more penises in me, that would make me more desirable.
It,
I don't
it would be
think so.
less
It's gonna make you
desirable
look
for you
more-
to continue
Yeah.
smoking.
Pap!
No,
It would
I
be
would
less
say
desirable.
if my choice
Listen,
is-
Grace, wait. I do want to say one
much, man.
honest,
Okay.
vulnerable thing here. You can
Okay.
go to Canada and legally do, what is that called? Ibogaine. It's 24-hour experience. It has the highest effectiveness rate of quitting smoking because it's a psychedelic experience. It lasts for about
Oh my
24
God.
hours.
Are you sponsored or what?
No, it's
Use
literally.
code
I don't even think they
Austin,
make much money on
20%
it. It's people that do psychedelics and that kind of therapy and stuff. They just do it because they want to.
I'll stop smoking when I stop being stressed
Grace,
out.
can
Until
I-
then, cigarettes are my friend.
So what is the origin of your stress? Was there a single event trauma in your? In your
Yeah,
youth?
my mother
Tell me.
is a crazy whore. That's the origin of my stress.
Okay, so then you should get the book. What's it called?
Well, your dad's also
Bessel
a crazy
van der
weirdo,
Kolk.
so
What's his name? Yeah, that's his name. But
Makes
what's
sense.
the book called? What's the book
Austin.
called? Bessel van der Kolk.
Austin,
what the
sexual,
fuck? How do we not
sexual
know this?
experience is a negative. Sexual experience is a
actually.
negative.
So here's. I've told this to my friends. This is my position. You guys attack it afterward.
okay.
A woman that has had one long-term relationship or 2 or maybe even 3 long-term relationship. Let's say
long-term.
she had a high school boyfriend, college boyfriend, adult boyfriend, and then she meets me. I would prefer that to a complete virgin to marry.
I agree.
The reason why women can say, okay, I've seen these other guys, and she can tell me, okay, I've seen, I dated, 3 guys, and this is what they were like, and this is what I liked about them. This is what I don't like. This is why I like you more.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's honest and vulnerable and tells me the truth about that, it means not only am I getting a girl who knows how to suck dick, who knows how to ride dick, who knows how to take it in the ass, who knows like all the things I like, who knows how to deal with relationship disputes, who has like a healthy understanding of them and has learned from that. Now when she meets me, she's like prime, so I don't have to fucking train her. Literally half of my relationship is training women. Straight up.
Okay, Austen.
How to
Austin,
fuck. How to do the basics of fucking.
Interesting choice
Number
of
2,
word.
how to deal with relationship conflict.
You're
Number
grooming
3,
what?
yes. We
Austin,
started young.
first of all, sex is not rocket science. I don't know what you want a whore. I mean, sex is not rocket science. It doesn't take a fucking genius to know how to
I don't
ride
think you
dick.
even know how to do
I know what
sex, dude.
rocket
I'll be
science
honest
is.
with
My
you.
my last roommate was a NASA scientist on the Artemis rocket, so I know what rocket science is. Sex, it doesn't come close to that.
You want a whore?
There's still a
You
lot
want
of
a
elements
whore,
of sex.
Austin? You want a
This is
whore?
another thing in the red pill that's fucking stupid.
Yes.
Oh,
Just say
sex
yes.
isn't a
Just
big
say yes
deal.
and
You
shut
just
her
pop
ass
it
up.
in. It's like there's a
You want
difference between
sloppy seconds?
okay.
Really? You're
Quiet.
capping hard right now. Come
I
on.
would agree with Austin's point though about the 3 lay count cigarette thing. Like if my choice is like my girlfriend adds 3 to her lay count or she chain smokes cigarettes, I would definitely go with 3 to the lay count.
Okay,
Well, adding
Yeah.
3 to your girlfriend's lay count isn't exactly going to make
But
a
those
huge
things
difference,
are
but, I
mutually
mean,
exclusive.
no offense, but I'm just saying.
I mean, listen, not everyone can pretend.
this
to
is
walk
another
around.
red pill point that you made that I disagree with. It's like
Not everyone can
sex
do
is
the
a
fake-
rocket science.
Not everyone can do the fake Christian, virgin mark. That's true.
You just put it in the hole, right? No, sex is also about learning how to fill in a certain role, learn how to role play, learn how to, be enthusiastic, learn how to make eye contact, learn how to get yourself into the mood, knowing the exact steps that it takes you to get intimate. Because past a
all of
certain
that
point
happens
in a
naturally if
relationship,
attracted
you're
to
not
No, you're
as
fucking in.
lustful.
God damn, she's so fucking stupid. Dude. Are you serious? You
How
think that
old
happens
are you, by the way?
naturally?
20? How old
She's
are you?
22.
Oh, perfect, dude. I can change this girl's mind in like 2 years would be perfect.
Also,
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna turn
I'm
me
sure
into
you're
a
the
whore?
one
No
gonna do it,
thanks,
my
dude.
guy.
No thanks.
Step
You
1,
like
I have a
yes,
gain.
I
Step
get it. I
2,
think
you're on
maybe
a gym
guy would
regimen.
I don't know,
Step
you kinda
3,
look
animal-based
that way,
diet.
but I'm not
Step
gonna say it.
4, it's just like, dude, I got like a protocol. You know what I need to make? I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's
make
not
this.
gonna
I'm
say
gonna make an online course to give to women that I date, and it like trains them how to
Well, you
see
gotta
outside the
finish your
Catholic
course
box, the
first.
shackles that have been put
No,
on
no,
you.
no, no, no. Austin, you're a
Why don't
coach.
you finish your course
Sex
first
is
before we move on to
intimacy.
other
The key to
courses?
sex is intimacy, really loving the other person and being into them.
Yes.
You
It's
have
not about
such like a
technique.
literal, you have
It's not
such
about
a child's view of sex.
Well, you
dude.
didn't let me
Oh,
finish.
Neeina, shut up and go eat some more
Adorable.
pussy.
I'm gonna
Shut
let
up,
you finish,
whore.
but
Shut up.
I like
does
when you
anyone-
freeze.
Does anyone in
Okay.
the chat
You want me
believe
to-
that Grace is a virgin? Like, I don't believe that for a second.
I never said I was or wasn't. You
I
can
mean,
look
you're
it
the
up.
one
so there's the
looking at it
technique
right
that
now,
needs
if
to
we're
be
gonna do that
learned,
type of argument.
and then on the other hand, you have
think it's fine.
getting into the moment with them, dealing with like the spiritual side of sex, adding
What
in
is the spiritual side
psychedelics.
of sex? Oh
Adding
my
in
god, stop.
psychedelics,
I
we're
feel
gonna
like
do
now you're starting to
shrooms.
drug people. Okay, I am not on your side anymore. You had me until right then.
Do you know what
I feel
caressa
like you're trying to
is?
drug some people. I'm sorry?
Dude, have you ever considered just loving a woman and having sex with her because you want her to have your babies?
I don't know. Have
and
you
not
ever considered
all this
it?
technique stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you try that instead of whatever you want a
Well,
woman who knows how to take it in the ass? I mean,
it's kind of like,
or just try,
what
maybe
it
you
is,
should try gay men. That seems maybe more up your alley. You want a guy who knows how to work the material,
Grace,
right?
I'm
mean,
waiting
Men
for the
know
right
that better
woman.
than
Okay?
women do, don't they?
I'm waiting for Miss Right. Okay.
Mr. Right,
Maybe a little bit of both.
somebody who knows how
Now
to,
I'm gay. Okay.
how to work the material. Well, I mean, if you want somebody with perfect technique, it's going to be somebody who owns the equipment, isn't it?
Well, so trans women are
No.
the most effective, or what? What do you mean?
Well, if you say it's all about technique, obviously somebody who has it is going to work it better, but it's obviously not about technique. It's about intimacy and loving the other person. That's the best sex.
Okay, you say that as somebody who's literally like not ever had an experience
Debatable.
like that, like ever. Like it just, I don't even know. Where do you get?
I don't have to have an experience of it or not.
I
That's
think you
obviously
absolutely
true.
do.
What are all these romantic movies about? Are they about Austen fucking plugging up a girl and fucking her up the ass? No, it's about falling in love with somebody and having sex with them and getting married. Have you ever watched a romantic movie that's like Austen's date with a surfer guy? No.
How long have you dated somebody, Grace?
I haven't really dated anybody.
So why do you?
I love this. Is like Dunning-Kruger effect, like to the T.
Hey, let me do my line of questioning, and then you feel free. Why do you think that you have the hubris to be able to say, "Oh, I know what people who have," even though I've not ever been in a long-term relationship, why do you have the confidence to say that? I mean, obviously, it seems very fake, but what doesn't matter. I want to ask you, because I do want you to explain it. Why do you think that you would have a better perspective than somebody who has gone through the experience? Do you think that you understand the experience of, like, I don't know, something in the Holocaust? Like do you really think that you are equipped to have the type of knowledge?
Dude,
Okay,
Grace
I'm
has
not a
some base
man,
takes
but I
on
can
all of
talk
this.
about men. I'm not a dog, but I can talk about dogs. I understand how relationships work. You don't have to be a whore like you.
Yeah, but
Nina,
you're
to
directly
understand how dicks
talking.
work, okay?
Well, I think that being a whore like me would make it seem like I know more about how dicks work than how you know dicks work.
Okay,
you
and
think
who's
I
more
didn't have an
sexually attractive
expertise?
on this panel right now? Me, obviously.
Sexual.
Alex.
Sorry? Oh,
Alex
sexually
is-
attractive? I don't know. I think
Yeah,
that's subjective, but I mean, I don't think that matters. I know how to give a better blowjob than you do. It doesn't matter.
Okay, try getting a husband with that line.
What is this? What is this
Try getting a
argument?
husband with that line.
Are you like you realize that I'm like engaged, right?
You are?
Grace, are you fucking retarded? We've talked
Dude,
multiple
everyone
times.
knows
You
Grace.
don't understand that?
You're engaged? I didn't know that. You're engaged to a man?
Yes, you have. Are you? Well,
I don't know
feel
that.
bad
I don't watch your
charitable
show.
to you. Now I feel bad I've been so charitable to you. Are you serious? You're going to be this rude to me.
How was I being rude? I didn't know you were.
We talked about this, Grace.
No, you didn't. Did we?
Yes, we have.
Grace,
have
we
talked
sent you
about-
the invite to the wedding.
Shut up, Austen.
I didn't know you were
Austin is not
engaged.
involved. Austin is not
Are
involved.
you? Okay, I just have. Okay, so like, are you engaged to be married to this man for life?
Well, I mean, I assume so. That's kind of the point of why I've been dating him for 3 years.
Okay, so you agree with me. You're going to be committed to him for life. And if you weren't committed for life, then it wouldn't be a real commitment. I win. I win. W Grace, L everybody else. Enjoy.
Was that a question?
Grace, how did you get so based? Like, what did you do?
Or are you just saying things?
I disconnected from my whore mother and connected with my good daddy, who Neeina
one that
called a
likes
weirdo
to-
because he flirted with
Yeah,
her.
the one that
Because
he likes to
flirted
talk
with
about
Neeina.
how he like talks to 16-year-old
No.
girls or whatever, or 15. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
15-year-old girls.
15-year-old. What are you
one.
talking about? What are you talking about? You're just coming up with lies. What are you talking about?
Oh, hold on, I'll find it for you. He talked to. Are you familiar with the what is his name? He got really canceled for moving from being a right winger. He thinks like a
Hunter
rogue.
Avalon? Hunter
Yes.
Avalon? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched
So
the
what?
Hunter Avalon conversation.
Yeah, what
and
about it?
He was very much talking about how he wanted to defend talking to like a 15 or maybe 17-year-old. And that
Are you talking about the chatter Rini who watches him? She's 16 years old. She lives in England. She's
It's your father's word. Have you not seen that interview?
I have. There was a woman in Hunter Avalon's chat who said he was a DILF, and then she lied to him about being 17, and he said,
Right,
"Okay,
no,
well, we
but
can
no,
still
but
talk."
your father said, I don't know why I can't talk to you said 16?
17. I think she said she was 17.
Yeah,
She's actually
I don't know
22.
why
But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but his argument, I don't really care about, like, his argument was, I don't see why I can't talk to a 17-year-old person who's calling me a DILF. Like,
Yeah, why can't
I don't
he?
see what the problem is.
Why can't he talk to her? He didn't say sexually. He just said talk. You can talk to anybody of any
But
age.
she's sexually talking at him. You realize that, right?
Yeah, but when
You
she
don't
told
think
him,
that's a little
when she
inappropriate?
told him she was 17 and she was a lying whore, he said, "Okay, well, we can still talk."
I'm
Yeah,
just
why
a
would
little
he say-
confused.
Why would he say that? Wait. Why would he say that? That seems
Because you can talk to a woman, you can talk to a girl who's 17 years old. You don't have to cut off.
He's calling her a lying whore, and he wants to keep talking to her.
I'm calling her a lying whore. He didn't say that to her. He didn't know she was lying at the time. She was 22 years old. She was just lying.
He did in the interview.
Yeah, and he said there's nothing wrong with talking to a 17-year-old girl. The age of consent in Rhode Island is 16. If she flew over here, he could fuck her. No problem.
Are you honestly just being silly right now, where you're thinking that like it's okay for a? I'm sorry. How old is your father? 56.
He's in his very late 40s.
Something like that. Oh, I thought he was 58. Whatever. Doesn't matter. The statement still stands. You think that it's appropriate for him to be talking to 17-year-olds?
I think he can talk to whoever he wants of any age. You mean sexually?
Well, if they're calling him a DILF and they're hitting on him, yeah, I would imagine that's the general consensus of what the conversation's based off of, right?
I think he can talk to a 17-year-old who's flirting with him. I mean, the federal age of consent is 18.
Okay, so you're okay with
pornographic images
flirting with somebody younger than you? You don't feel like that makes you uncomfortable?
Absolutely, he can flirt with whoever he wants. He can find whoever he wants attractive. Most men find 18-year-old girls to be peak attractiveness. Why would that make me uncomfortable? It's a common. An 80-year-old finds 18-year-olds attractive. It's just men.
I don't think most people. That actually is untrue.
Alex, you find 18-year-old girls attractive sexually?
If they're looking at dating people, they typically, or even when we're using like dating app data, most dating app studies have said that like people are more interested in dating somebody close to their age.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would really want to date or marry somebody who's that young because
I honestly don't care.
So why are they talking?
In a random stream? I'm much more interested in why Grace refers to her father as daddy. That's a much more interesting topic to me.
Because he's my daddy. I love him. What's wrong with that?
Grace, honestly, are you ever worried that like?
I don't know where to start.
If he's interested in something,
girls don't call their dads daddy. What's wrong with that?
No.
Well, just because our culture over-sexualizes it doesn't mean I can't call him daddy.
Well, I think it might be just like a southern thing or whatever. I know daddy's more of a common like southern thing. But
I'm not southern.
They're not southern. They're from up north.
Okay, well, I don't know if you like have connections or whatever. I mean, whatever. I'm just saying I understand that it is a thing in certain. Wait, so what is your argument then? I'm just trying to like, why do you call him daddy if you're not southern?
Well, because he's my daddy. I don't know. I love him. It's an affectionate term for your dad.
Okay, sure, whatever. What I am curious about, like, does it not bother you that if he's interested in flirting with somebody who is younger than you, that he?
Oh yeah, so I'll just cover this real quick since it's on the screen. So this is a man's age versus the age of a woman who looks best to him. So as a man goes from 20 all the way up to 50, these are the ages of women that he prefers.
Yeah, I would say that makes sense. Early 20s.
Like 21 on average.
That's when most women are the most sexually attractive.
What is that? What is that? This seems like an incomplete survey. Or not survey,
I'm sorry. And then a woman's age.
No. Can you give me the? Can you just link the thing? You got some?
To be honest, I don't know where this is from. So.
Are you serious? You're shitting on Grace's data, and you're gonna come in with this.
Yes, I'm deeply sorry that my scientific data is incomplete. But yeah,
it's from today.
And then the woman's age versus the men who look best to her. So like, it's typically like as they're younger, it's like 3 years apart, and then I think it's pretty similar, and then it kind of comes down a bit. So like,
I actually think this is obviously true, but I think there's generally a 3 to 4 year age difference with women being 3 to 4 years younger. But actually, a lot of women my age find way older men more attractive more and more. Like that's becoming a theme. Like if you're saying like daddy TikToks, dad bod TikToks, like it's a thing.
You know what that is, right? Though, Grace, it's because they are more established financially, generally. And I don't necessarily mean that they're rich.
I'm talking. Hold on. Have you ever interacted with a Zoomer guy? Like, look at Austen. He's clearly a homosexual.
Wait, aren't you a Zoomer?
So how old do you think I am?
22. They have no masculinity. I mean, I like Zoomer guys. I really do. I think they're funny, but like they don't have the sort of gravitas that older men have.
Zoomer, aren't you? Are you?
Yeah, I agree. Look, I'm trying to find a Zoomer guy to impregnate me. I haven't found one yet who can even get it up. So, like, you know, we're on the prowl.
Well, I mean, you'd probably have to go on a date with them. That seems like something you have not been open to doing. So,
I'm open to it.
Do you try? Like, do you use dating apps?
No, that's for losers.
So how do you expect to meet somebody? Like, do you use like do you get like a Twitch DMs or something, or like how are you trying to? You said that you're interested in meeting people. How are you going about like putting yourself out there?
Well, I mean, I've been on a lot of e-dates, and I've met. Okay, I'm just kidding with that one, but I've met a lot of people online. I get to know them, and it always turns out that they're like, Zoomer guys are like very funny, very edgy. They have the porn thing, you know what I mean? Like they're very sort of.
Porn
I don't know what to call it.
What's a porn thing?
Well, like most Zoomer guys watch a lot of porn, and like you know what I mean. They're edgy in a certain way. Well, yeah, okay. But like they have.
I have porn blocked on every single device that I own.
No wonder. Never mind. The joke didn't even make any sense.
I've had a lot of suitors. I've had a lot of guys who are interested in me. But you know, I haven't found one who has sort of like the gravitas of older men who kind of are like, I know how to handle women. They're just sort of like they're cute.
Wait, so are you actively looking for an older guy?
I'm looking for any guy. I would like, you know, ideally to marry somebody who's about like 5 to 10 years older than me.
10 years older than you?
Yeah, no cap facts.
I don't think much older than that would make a lot of sense.
Why do you want somebody older than you? Like that significant? Like I understand. Like maybe like I mean, you know, I growing up was like, oh yeah, older guy was always kind of like seen as being like cool or whatever. But I wasn't like 10 years older. Like so, why are you interested in finding somebody 10 years older than you? Is it just because of your age right now, or are you saying like if you were, you're like you said you're 22, right? 23, 22,
20.
20.
20.
Okay. So you want somebody who's 30?
I don't think much older than that would make a lot of sense, but I'm open to like older than that.
Okay,
but
so
I think that the sort of generational difference would be hard to overcome, but I'm open to it.
For sure. But then I guess I have to ask you, if you were 30, would you want to date somebody who was 40, or would it like kind of like a diminishing return, like kind of squeeze down to what you would be more interested in?
I think I would still want somebody who's generally older than me, like, and has more experience than me. But if I'm 30 and I'm like still looking around at the like in the same way I am, I just think that I'm a lost cause.
Does that not kind of make you sound weak?
Weak? What do you mean?
Well, you want somebody else to kind of take care of you, right? It kind of seems like correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it seems like you have daddy problems.
No, I have a daddy solution. I've connected with my dad, and I love him very much.
I mean, wait. You understand that like wanting to have a dad as a partner is a problem, right?
No. I do think that's a problem. Like, I think girls with daddy issues are not ready for marriage because if they want like
a girl that has a daddy issue, yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm ready for marriage. I'm not claiming to be at all. I think I've got a lot of work to do.
You literally just said that.
No, I'm saying ideally.
Wait, do you want to do have a kid out of wedlock? You said you've been looking for a Zoomer to get you pregnant or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for a mate, but I don't, I'm not really actively looking. I mean, I don't think I'm ready to get married. I don't think I'm marriage material right now. But, I'm open to it. Like, I'm not going to say, like, I'm closed off to men.
What steps need to be done in order to ensure that you're marriage material?
Put a 1 in the chat if you want to bust a nut inside of Grace and get her knocked up.
Oh, stop. Don't be inappropriate.
All twos. I mean, if I'm single at 30, I think it's time for me to jump off the bridge, honestly.
I'm seeing,
Alex.
That better not be you, bitch.
I see mostly 1.
I'm gonna tell your girlfriend.
Not me.
Look, my dad is starting a house for wayward hoes. I'm a wayward hoe in the sense that, like, I'm a good girl, but I've got a lot of issues, and there's a lot of girls out there. Like,
what does that mean? A house for wayward hoes?
Yeah, can we get some information on that?
It's a place where women can come to learn how to take care of a man and become prepped to not be wayward hoes anymore, but to be good hoes for their potential husbands. Then what do they
teach? What do they teach?
We need to go deeper into this.
Translation.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, for instance, we had our first wayward hoe come over. Our first wayward.
It's a very clever way for Ben to get laid.
Well, actually, he's not really interested in these women because he doesn't want a wayward hoe as a partner. He wants a good woman as a partner, but he is providing a service to these wayward hoes because he is the daddy that they're looking for.
So, is this your actual father or is this your boyfriend?
Yes, it is.
My actual father, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of following. He's starting a house. So let me put this into terms that human beings can understand.
Okay.
He purchased property, a house,
so that women
He has
who
an
need.
apartment.
Okay, so it's not even a house.
Women who are
It's an
sluts
apartment.
will come there,
Wait, so
In
is he
his
just in a
apartment, or is it an
brothel?
apartment for girls to stay in without him?
which will probably involve his dick.
Well, there's two setups. So he has the house for wayward hoes, and I'm in a converted garage downstairs. Now I have a house for wayward homos, and what I need is men to come over and install shelving, fix my plumbing, install a
Gays
kitchen,
are very
etc.
good at all of those things.
It's sort of like
Dude,
a.
now I'm like, is this just a
that's why
troll?
that's how we're performing them. No, seriously, Austin,
You're telling me
guess
your
is a
dad
good
doesn't give the apartment to you. He makes you stay in a basement where homosexual guys learn how to do home appliance
Well,
repair.
he doesn't make me. I'm freely deciding to, reform.
You're freely
home.
deciding to stay in a basement and teach
Just like Andrew
homosexuals
Tate's,
home economics.
Well, we had a wayward hoe come over. Her name was Ava.
Why are
she
you
came
referring to a
over-
person as a wayward hoe? Is this like a
that's what she is.
is there a
That's
brand
dehumanizing.
associated with
That's
this?
what
Is
she
this a
is.
trademark?
No, she's one of these white girls who only fucks black guys to show that she's edgy to her parents, which is disgusting and racist.
You are
But she's
such
a
a
wayward
fucking
hoe.
child. The way that you look at the world. That's
So
That's
what is the
literally
what
what
is
she does.
what does the recovery plan look like for a typical wayward hoe?
Okay,
No,
well,
they're
so what
making money
happened
off of
was
him.
she came. Actually, no, I crowdfunded for her to come over, $200. My chat paid for it. She came over, and so my dad told her, like, okay, you're gonna need to listen to me. He tugged her hair and he said, like, okay, we need to bond physically. So now you hit me back. She didn't want to do that. He got lemonade with her and she kept running away from him, and he told her to walk next to him. And
It's
eventually,
got
after she
lemonade,
kept-
like a euphemism.
no, they literally went to Adele's Lemonade. And eventually, after she kept running
What?
away, he told her to heel and come back. Like, heel, you need to walk next to me. See,
Like
these are
they're
the
a
types
horse?
of.
I think we're all realizing that Ben is much smarter than we all thought. He's got.
No,
Who's
Ben
Ben?
is-
How do you
My
know who
dad.
Ben is?
My
I
dad.
swear.
Fucking
Yeah,
father
yeah.
who like apparently he's gotten like all these prostitutes. He's running.
pretty elaborate.
Your
elaborate
fucking dad is running a
game.
brothel. You realize that, right?
Yeah, Austin.
They
you're
don't have
not
sex with
a-
anyone, and he's not interested in having sex with them.
Yeah,
Now, if they,
he's trying
if
to
they
make money off of
misbehave,
them having
if
sex
they
with other
misbehave,
people.
no, it works because if they misbehave, then they come downstairs and they can try to seduce the wayward homos, and that works for both of them. But
Who are the wayward homos?
Oh my
Do you
God.
have like
Austin could
names
be
or?
one.
I know you
Milo-
like
Milo
the
Wait,
so
Monopoly.
dude, this
Yeah.
sounds like if Myron had like a daughter.
Would you consider
Like,
me a
what
wayward
he would
homo,
do.
Grace?
Oh, we're not.
Well, I only really consider men gay. I would consider you a wayward hoe, but you're a good girl. I can tell. You're nice.
I
in
can't be
your own way.
both. I can't be a ho homo.
No, hoes are.
I love
like,
the
almost
dude,
not the
Grace.
same.
You would be epic at pickup, like especially old school pickup, like the like backwards
What?
compliment.
Because she's retarded.
Picking
Like, what
up
do you mean? Like,
girls. What do you
honestly,
mean?
would you consider? Hold on,
You know,
Austin, I
Grace,
need
if
the
you
answer.
didn't smoke
Austin,
cigarettes,
wait, hold on. I need
you'd
the
be
answer.
pretty.
I need the
you'd be
answer.
pretty
I mean, she's
great.
gonna die in like after the stream with this fucking lung cancer, dude. Are you like in a? Is there a shower behind you?
No, this is a push door.
Like an industrial style push door?
Is
Yeah,
one
you
of the
said you were in a
homos,
basement.
trapped in
It's a
there?
secure
Yeah.
compound.
Can you
It's a
leave?
secure
Wait. Can you
compound.
wait? Can you go out the door?
Are the homos trapped in the shower?
Are you literally able to leave this?
How
this
funny would
part
that be
of
if she hits the
house?
door and alarm goes off and it's like locking down
You are
facilities?
literally in like a fucking bunker basement. Oh my god, you need help. Where?
Grace, blink twice.
What?
Grace, blink
Well, we
twice
have
if you
to
need
keep
us.
the homos in somehow. Like, it's a secure compound.
Are you the homo? Like, are you trying to? Do
Yeah,
some
you're the only
metaphor
homo
here?
that we see. So
No, I'm
Yeah.
a wayward
Show me
hoe.
the homos. Show me the homos.
I don't have any
Show me-
over here right now. I'm trying to invite Austin.
Wait,
Well, it's a startup business, Nina. We don't have everything ready right
Show me
away.
the hose. Show me the hose. Show me the hose.
all right, I'll
Vote
come
for-
through. I am. You know what?
Yeah.
You're right, Grace. Send me your address. I'll be over there.
428
Well,
Child Street, Warren, Rhode Island.
So how much
Get a
are
big
you guys
net.
charging for OnlyFans on this? Is it like $10 a month, or what's the plan?
Huh? How much are we making?
How much is like the OnlyFans like subscription? Because I've never signed up for OnlyFans in my life, but I do want to see some wayward homos being disciplined and bent.
Oh, well,
fucking
we'd
wayward
scream
I
it
hoes.
all.
don't know
Yeah,
who
we
the
would
wayward
stream
homos
it all.
are. I don't even know who they are. That
Perhaps
sounds
we
kind
could
of
have
like-
Alex,
OnlyFans
how do you know who
content,
Ben is? And what's? Give me the scoop.
It's because I've talked to him. I've talked to her dad.
Our
Ben-
first hoe fled the scene. She called her daddy in, and her rich aunt and uncle picked her up. It didn't work out. She fled the-
Do you ever consider that you're the baddie?
She fled for her life.
I'm the baddie. I
Yeah,
am
you
the
guys
baddie.
are the bad. You guys are the bad persons. Like
I am a
you're
bad
the
bitch.
bad
So
people.
what would you
were-
say your
were the
success
villain.
rate so far
Do you ever
is?
go-
Bad
hold
bitch
on.
status
Real quick.
confirmed.
Do you ever consider that you're the villains in this story?
Villain? What's wrong about
Yeah,
telling
somebody tried to escape
freely,
your home.
she freely, I crowdfunded for her to come over here. Other people paid for her ticket to come
And
over
then
here
she
and learn,
wanted to leave.
and learn how to listen to a man. Neeina, would you listen to a man? Would you listen to a man if he told you what to do?
Yeah, Neeina, you're kind of hating right now. Ben came up with a pretty genius system of getting laid in his 40s. like
I
this
do
is
have the.
most guys in their 40s are struggling to meet girls, and Ben has come up with a very, very unique system involving wayward homos and wayward hoes. It's very complex, you know.
It's good that we
don't
I definitely
understand
believe
it,
it.
but
Alex, I don't think
works.
you understand. I don't think you understand. Wayward hoes are no fun to have sex with. They're usually on
Well, why
birth
can't you-
control.
Show
They're
me
frigid
some wayward
sexually.
hoes. Show me.
Well,
one
I'm telling you
wayward
about
hoe.
Ava. Ava's a girl I met when I went to
Would
Seattle.
you consider yourself a wayward hoe?
I am a wayward hoe, yes, but I'm not as wayward as some, but I am definitely a wayward hoe, absolutely.
Yo, what's your lay count?
Mine?
Yeah.
I said I don't talk about that online.
I'm sure when Ben was pulling that girl's
Well,
hair,
that's
there was no
very
sexual
not
enjoyment.
hoe-like behavior. I think you're a
What is
faker.
that called?
I think
Like,
you're not a wayward hoe.
Just directing it, or
I mean, essentially what it comes down to is the crack cocaine for all women is 2 words, good girl. So if they hear that from my dad, they're going to say like, okay, that's a dopamine hit. I want to keep doing that. I want
Grace,
to
I'm
serve
going to tell
and
you,
be fat.
as your dad has said that directly to me personally, it didn't work.
Well, that's because you're a wayward hoe. You need to be.
But so are you, so I guess it doesn't work on you either.
Absolutely.
Right?
No, I disobey my dad all the time. I'm a terrible.
You're
Grace,
kind of
does
just
it-
saying nothing.
Does he pull your
does it
hair?
work on you and your
Neeina,
dad?
it's
Dad
called
does it to you?
nuance, okay? It's called nuance, okay? People
Grace,
can be
I'm
in
going to be
difficult
honest with you, just
places.
100% honest with you. I think that you're being abused by your dad. I think that I wish I could help you more than I can. I honestly think that I'm here for you always, and I don't mean to be patronizing by any means. I think it's very concerning, the relationship that you have with each other, and I think that everyone here would probably support
I think it's great, and I support your decision, Grace, 100%.
Austin, shut the fuck
Neeina,
up.
no
About your daddy.
offense. No
If I'm being
offense,
honest,
but
no,
I'm not
I'm just telling you, like, straight up. This is just, we can go back into doing jokes, but I'm just saying, like, right now, I honestly support you. If you need anything, let me know.
I
Like,
think you were abused by
Alex
your
would also
dad. I think
support
he
you as well.
masculinized. I think you were abused by your dad. He
You don't know
masculinized
anything
you so
about
that you
my
find
dad.
pussy
Okay,
interesting.
that's fair.
You have a masculine frame of mind. That's abuse
That's
by
fine.
your
That's
dad.
totally fair for you to say that, but I'm being straight up with you. Honestly, if you ever need to talk to me, I'm not trying to patronize you. I literally feel like I am
No, dude, I can't
worried
talk
about
about
the
it.
situation that you're in, and
Okay,
I
then call the police.
know I
Your
just want to
daddy
give
lets
you.
you.
I want to give you the
Oh.
option. No, Grace. I want to
You
give
know,
you the
this is
option.
entertaining.
You don't.
I'm
You
not
don't have to
asking
take it.
you
You don't have to
for
take it. You don't have to take it. I'm not trying to patronize you. I'm not trying to. I'm saying, like, if you ever need anything in a way of like getting out of the situation, if you need to like stay somewhere for a little bit, I got you, girl.
Well, what I really need, honestly, and I say this to all women out there, I need my dad to find a good woman to be his wife so that he can be supported.
I
and
thought
there's
he
not
was
as much
dating
pressure on
somebody.
me. I appeal to the chat. If you know any good
no,
women,
didn't
send them
wait.
his way.
I thought your dad was.
I'm a
dating
terrible
somebody.
daughter.
I thought your dad was dating somebody.
He was, but you know, she was a wayward. She ended up being a wayward hoe.
Grace, this is why I
Is
have
she
a
now in the
job. So
basement?
send your dad
She's
my
one of those-
website. Send your
Bro,
dad austinsummers.com, and he can sign up for one of the
Austin,
programs.
her dad is like
You're going to
Rachel's
teach
dad.
somebody how to riz a girl up?
He
Yeah.
has a whole system that involves wayward hoes and crowdfunding, and he's able to fuck chicks with like without talking.
No,
to them.
no, you
Tell
don't
him this
understand.
tall tale.
You don't understand.
That's a very
If you have a wayward hoe come over and you simp for pussy and you want to fuck her, that's not being her dad. That's not being a good man to her. That's being a bitch. That's not the point of the house for wayward hoes, is to get pussy. Wayward hoe pussy has bugs
Alex,
crawling
this
out
is
of it.
the
It's
best
disgusting.
podcast I've
It
been on with
smells.
you. This is
Wayward hoe
like,
pussy is.
I bet if I texted Ben and I was like, "Yo, Ben, by the way, dude, I don't think you get laid," he would show me like 20 videos of him like fucking these wayward hoes.
No, that's actually not the point. He's not a simp for pussy, unlike you, Alex. No offense.
I think that you are.
It's not.
I think that you know that that's not true. Oh.
Well, I'm sure he's complimented by you guys saying that he gets a ton of tail, but you know.
yo,
Well,
Neema,
I didn't really
your
think that.
chat directed at
Comment.
you. Let's fire
No,
back.
that's Neema.
I didn't really believe that
Hi, Jord.
up until you told me the story about the wayward hose.
Represents the way. Should I be
And,
responding
like,
to?
even though it's like really, I don't know, like kind of diabolical, it's also like epic and like very Machiavellian. And so
They freely submit. That's the point. Women have freedom. They freely submit to it. Thorp here is a metrosexual Englishman. He's welcome to the house for wayward.
Neeina, can you share your age?
I'm 30. We're saying we're.
Okay.
What I'm saying, our
Wait, what
play with
birth
fire,
month though?
We're August.
I really want to see one of these wayward homosexuals though. That would be.
Yeah, can you please find one?
Well, they don't
Milo Yiannopoulos was my first attempt. He blocked me on all accounts and said that I fucked my dad.
That is not a good place
But
to go.
he is absolutely. You know what I'd like to do with Milo? I'd like to get him with me on a date and just get him to kiss me. Well, we'll see if he can manage a kiss with a woman. I don't think he can do it.
Why would you kiss someone before marriage?
Gay.
Right,
Milo
exactly.
Yiannopoulos
That's why
is the gayest.
Well, no, he prayed the gay away. To be fair, you can do that. You can just.
Well, I mean, the way that it works is like, so me and Ava met in Seattle when I went to LA. I went to Seattle after. That was a whole story. But then we got to know each other. She kept coming on streams, and my dad sang her Father Figure by George Michael. I don't know if you know that song. And he made her call him daddy, and she did. So, like, that was the initiation of the pimp-ho relationship. And then she came over here, and she realized she couldn't handle listening to a man, and so she fled the coop. You know, that's what you're going to get with wayward hoes.
Sounds like something that man told you to say.
That's why you gotta put some stuff in the wayward hose drink.
Put a one in chat if Neeina should have a man telling her what to say more often.
The thing is that the wayward hoes, they have too much emotions going on, which is why I recommend putting a little bit of clonazepam in their drinks every day, one in the morning, one in the evening.
No drugs. They're all on antidepressants. It's terrible.
You're
no drugs.
Definitely not a drug.
Oh, well, mild stimulants are okay, like coffee and nicotine, but like antidepressants, birth control, no. And we're a clean facility here. No drugs, no condoms. Get the bugs out of your pussy.
Right, so you're actually kind of too old. Wait, I don't know why you're not married yet.
Wait. Can we explore the bugs out of your pussy? What are the bugs in your pussy?
Oh, yeah. You ever met one of these girls who sleeps around? I mean, they stink. They got bugs crawling out of there.
Constant bugs. Absolutely.
Wait, what?
Maybe they gotta clean up their act.
Maybe I've been missing out.
Alex, this is how we need to become. We need to have very strong opinions and just say them with 100% confidence and never back down.
She just says
this is how you grow an audience, dude. No one wants to grow or improve anymore. Everyone just wants fucking hot takes.
Austen,
I'm just
I don't know how you're being so reasonable.
Give me a topic. I'm just gonna choose like a random.
You want women to be whores and know how to take it up the ass so that they can be a good partner for you. That's not a hot take.
Hey, have you ever tried it?
You know what? Okay, you're right. Here, let me try that one.
I'm not gonna go lesbo with you.
I want a whore. I want a fire-breathing whore who knows everything. She's fucked every man on planet Earth.
Same.
All right.
I agree with you.
Grace,
am I getting into the streaming mindset?
Bugs coming out of their pussy, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, was that like a lice thing, or is that like some thing your church told you? Or
Grace, are you gonna be this disagreeable when you're in a marriage?
Yeah, you're really not being.
Absolutely
you're kind
not.
of being a little bit of a whore
I'm
by
an
not agreeing with all the men here.
I'm a very actually genuinely submissive person in real life, but I have issues.
You're very much proving that.
Well,
you know that's one of the big. That's one of the big five.
Hey, Grace, shut the fuck up.
Grace is a typical brat.
Neeina, I'm not going to do lesbian BDSM with you, no matter how hard you try. I already told you already. You're not my mommy. We're not doing role play.
Let's see if she does it.
We're not doing role play. I'm not into it. I'm sorry. Find another girl.
Do you want me to get my boyfriend and I can tell him to tell you to shut the fuck up? Will you listen?
Why would I listen to him? He's using it for sex for 3 years.
He's a man.
And now he's putting a ring on it.
He's a man.
He's not a man.
Because your entire ideology is that he's a man, so you should have to listen to it. Do you want me to get it? I can get him. If that'll make you
go ahead. If he says, go ahead. If he says it to me in a way that is manly, then I will respond. Go ahead.
I'm actually curious to see that as well.
What is?
You know it when you see it. You know it when you see it. Go ahead.
I'm curious to see.
So is it opposite to the way that I feel like you can just say words in a lot of different ways. Tell me, what do you think is manly?
It's a vibe, Neeina.
It's you know what when
Alex,
you see it. We can have Alex and Austen try it.
The fuck up?
Okay, Alex can give it a try.
Let's go.
But you have to promise you'll bring your boyfriend in, your fiance.
Sure.
I mean, it would be so disgenuine at this point, but sure, why not? Let me try. Grace,
I really
shut the fuck up, you dirty little fucking slut. Probably something.
No, you're smiling. Doesn't count. You can't do it.
Shut the fuck up, whore.
You're just gonna say nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I know. You gotta be more serious.
It's you know what? When you see it, we can get ones in chat for each person how well they did. Alex and Austen both failed. You can dominate a woman, but it takes.
Oh, so you're just gonna say nothing, and then I'm not gonna waste my time doing that. Like, what the fuck?
Go ahead. Well, I'll give him a fair chance. I'll be blah blah blah.
No, you're not giving either one of them a fair chance.
All
Like, I
right,
think
Grace,
we
let
get
me
some,
explain to you how you're not going to
alphas
be
here.
naturally submissive and you're not going to be naturally agreeable in
you're
a
not.
relationship.
Why don't you have him come in here and tell you to shut
One
the
of the
fuck up?
top 5 qualities.
Because why would he do that?
These are the big 5 personality tests. This is like one of the most psychologically backed tests. Actually, it's Hexaco. They added a 6th one. But let's say
Hexaco?
1 out of 6 is agreeable versus disagreeable. Where do you fall on that spectrum? You fall like 100% on the disagreeable side.
I'm a very nice person, Austen. Come on.
You're not.
Yeah, I
You
am.
can treat people well, but you will probably
Can you
disagree
compliment all of
and
us? Wait, Grace, can you compliment all of
say
us?
something nice about everyone on the panel.
Yes, start
Okay,
with Austin.
absolutely. Austin's got a very nice shirt on. He looks clean and professional. Alex is hilarious. I love his show. He provides a great show. And Neeina, although she does try her lesbian dom stuff.
That's not a
on me.
compliment. Not a compliment.
She
Nope,
is
nope, no.
very-
I
Nina's-
asked one compliment. I asked one compliment. You cunt. Stop doing this bullshit.
Nina's very. Nina's-
She's teasing you because she likes you because all women are bisexual. Duh.
I know, of
Nina's-
course she does.
Nina's very
I'm
pretty,
just-
and she genuinely is very nice. Like I really like her as a person, and she cares about things. She thinks about things, and she's not just like
No, I do
a
appreciate that.
bitch. Like she's not,
I am a bitch.
not
but-
harsh. She's you have a very nice sort of like soft side.
Oh,
to
that
it.
is
It's very
sweet. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you
Love
are.
too,
So
Grace.
yeah. No lesbian stuff. Stop that.
What?
Wait, can we see the demonstration from your
For
boyfriend?
lesbians.
Oh,
I thought
sorry.
you had the homos.
your future husband. I am actually curious to see that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you actually get your future husband to do that? I'm actually really curious about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm.
What do you want me to do? He hates
Like-
me on stream.
Like put Grace in her place, so as to speak.
Well, I mean, if you guys weren't able to, like, he was just gonna just yell, "Shut the fuck up!" But
But me and Austin are secretly.
okay, hold on. I think we should maybe go in reverse. I think we should do this like, I think we should. Grace complimented all of us. I think we should compliment all of us as well.
Nina, stop deflecting. Stop
Alex,
deflecting. You said you'd bring your boy.
no.
You said you'd bring your
I
fiance.
will,
Come on.
but I want to set the scene because he doesn't want to come into some conversation that he has no idea what the fuck's happening. We're just being super. Wait, do you want me to? Wait, do you want him to yell at you?
Okay, how about this? How about
I
this?
feel like we're friends now. I feel like it's like weird to have him come yell at you now.
No,
No,
him dominating me doesn't mean it's
before.
a negative relationship.
Yeah.
Wait,
All I'm saying
dominating
is-
you sounds weird. Do you just
Well,
want him to
that's what
say
you're
a certain
suggesting.
word? I can get him to say just like "shut the fuck up, Grace." I can.
You
I can
suggested it, Nina. You said if you want to see a
Okay, but
real
now you
man, I'll call my.
complimented me, and now I feel bad.
He can tell me to shut. Oh, man, dominating a woman is an enjoyable experience. I'm into it. Go ahead.
Okay, well now I feel like that's a weird kink thing, but okay, I'll ask him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like you guys to compliment each other in term. Okay. Alex,
Okay, yeah,
you need
we'll
to
do that.
compliment
We'll do that
Austin,
in
and
the middle
Austin, you need to
future.
compliment
Yeah.
Alex.
She'd also like you to cut your balls off and put them in a jar and deliver them to her.
My balls are not jarable. They're too big.
She has a cool. light in
I
the background.
think
This
Dude,
has
I need to
been-
like make my streaming setup good.
Yeah,
Put
you need to
something
have
in the background.
an industrial door behind you and a fire alarm like me.
And you got to have some wayward homos in the background.
Alex, your background's pretty cool.
Yeah, well,
Why don't I
it's,
just bring
it's
my-
pretty good, but I don't have any wayward homos. That's the only problem.
Can you project that light onto that?
Well, can I tell you guys the actual story of the first wayward hoe we had?
Yeah. Well, didn't you already do that? You told us that you met up with her.
Well, yeah, but I just want to finish it. So Ava's this girl, right? And she is good in some ways. Like I was in a weird situation with a guy in Seattle
was the last
when
girl I
I was
dated.
traveling over there.
Her name was Ava.
Really? And so she kind of like rescued me and she let me crash at her place, which was very nice of her, right? So then we got to talking, she had been watching my content. She was like a fan. So we got to streaming together. And when she was on stream, her activities were going to gas stations and talking to crackheads at 2 a.m. Or what she did on one stream was she was with two black guys in her dad's apartment. She went off stream, then she came back on and told everybody she just got plowed. So I was like, okay, this girl is chill, right? She's not going to be like one of these stuck-up princesses, right? And so, she talks to my dad and he sings her songs and he tells her to call him daddy. And she calls him daddy, right? So she comes over here. He tells her they have to physically bond. He tugs on her hair and then he tells her to hit him back so that they can be physically bonded so that she'll listen to him. She doesn't do it. Yada, yada, yada. She calls her dad and says, Dad, secretly, without telling us, she goes, I don't feel comfortable with these two. A man in his very late 40s and his 20-year-old daughter, right? Totally playing the princess when she had literally just got plowed by two black guys, like basically on stream the day before, right? So she calls her daddy. He sends her aunt and uncle who live over here to come pick her up. She acts like, oh, I'm a princess. I'm scared, right? And then now she's threatening to take my channel down and press charges. Now, this is the issue with wayward hoes. My dad is taking a huge risk by taking them on because women in this society can always play the princess, right? They can always say, oh, I didn't feel comfortable. I'm nervous, right? And that men can just you realize that he's taking a huge risk with them, right?
He's high as fuck.
Hmm?
You don't want to show your big arm? You sure? You high for that? Okay. Tell Grace to shut the fuck up.
Grace, shut the fuck up.
Yikes.
Was that
wasn't too bad.
Was that supposed to be
He is super high, dude. He has no idea what the fuck's going on.
Well, of course, a man who's high is not gonna. So he's a pussy. He's a weed smoking loser.
He's a pussy because he's high?
Why does he get high? To avoid his issues? That's not a man.
Why does he get high No, because he's just chilling, dude. Because he doesn't believe in the rigid standards that you live under every single day, where you think that you have to live on a specific set of rules, where he's just like, you know what, I kind of like doing this. I'm not doing it anymore.
That was
my
a more
best life. Totally fine.
Austin gave a better attempt at that, and I invited him to be a member of my house for wayward.
I didn't know he was gonna be high as fuck. I thought he could have come in.
Clarify, I'm kidding right now.
He's also writing. This motherfucker's got a master's degree, bitch.
Okay.
So hi.
He's saying for inspiration.
Before I write.
Tell him to come on stream.
I'm still working.
He doesn't like.
Come on stream. Show your face. You're a real man.
Nah, he doesn't like doing it.
Okay. Weed smokers are soy. Everybody knows that. Come on.
If we look at Razor ATX, I mean, he literally did a fashion show.
Yeah, weed does decrease your testosterone.
Your husband your fiance works in fashion.
No,
he's what's even gayer? Testosterone.
Wait, you think that's a bad thing if he works in fashion? You are such a fucking child.
Working in fashion, you actually have a shit ton of...
She's trying to gotcha. That's a bad thing, even if you did.
Well, will he admit though? Most men that do work in fashion are gay.
Alinity, Amaranth, did you ever Amaranth?
Grace is trying to get more clients for her House of Homos.
Yeah, he's welcome. He's very welcome. Can you put up a shelf? Can you put up a shelf? I need some.
You ever heard of soda? Oh yeah, are you kidding me? How do you think I have all this shit behind me?
HBO 2024 House of Homos.
Dude, Grace is gonna be like the top female comedian in 8 years with just all these stories of her father and.
Are you guys getting tired of House of Dragons?
This bit is just gonna be so dialed in.
House of Homos. There's less dragons and more.
Grace has not been able to show me one homo, so I don't believe her.
Neeina, that kind of looks like a mess, to be honest. That doesn't look like an organized something that a man would come up with.
A couch? It's a shelf.
Well.
What do you mean? Well, what is your definition of what
Grace,
a shelf is?
This is the program
that looks like something that a man organized. I don't think so.
So basically, I'm going to bring your dad on an immersion program. I'm going to make him talk to some girls, start up some conversations. I'm then going to lead the interaction forward towards somewhere where they can become intimate with each other and speak in private. And really, really get to know each other.
That'll be the first and last day of your program, my friend.
Wait. Can you explain it again? I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, so basically your dad comes, he meets me in person. I have him approach some girls and he leads it forward with them. He tries to, be somewhere where he can speak intimately and deeply with them.
Whoa.
And then he'll find a good woman.
Wait, is the girl in the
I don't believe in
the
men
dress?
just picking up women. That doesn't make any sense. You have to get to
if you're trying to get
Well, no,
your
your
That's true.
dad's
Women,
intentions are obviously
not too much
pure,
gravity.
right? So your dad's going to
He's
do
looking
the
for a
best he can.
wife. He's looking for a wife.
Exactly.
He's not looking
So
for some...
you don't find them at the wife matrix vortex, right?
You're going to
You
teach
find
him how
them-
to pigeon dance for hoes on the street? I don't think so. That's not what he's
What is
interested
pigeon dance? What does that mean? It's like a
You
boomer
know,
term.
Make yourself seem attractive for a hoe so that she'll fuck
So
you
Grace,
at the end of the night.
if
Give me a break.
if every man that meets a woman online is a gay homo, that leaves
I
in
didn't say
person
that.
to meet them. So
I didn't say that. No. Oh, I've never said that.
So
You
you're
can
either
meet people
pigeon
online.
dancing in real life or you're a gay homo for meeting someone on a dating app. So what choice does he have? Does he have to telepathically communicate his desire for a wife, and then she just
How do you think
appears
people
with
met each
him
other
making
You
no
shouldn't
effort?
show on stream.
You don't think there's
You
any
need to
way for
herald
people to meet each
much
other
for
other
her.
than a dating app or approaching women on the street like pieces of meat?
Austin,
Have you
there's
ever
an
heard
easier
of
way. It's called getting
somebody-
an avatar. You just get an avatar, like your daughter, and you just like kind of use her like a puppet to get her to do shit for you. It's
Austin, why don't you bring those women over here? They look like wayward hoes. He can teach. You can look. He needs more men
You
because
guys
when you
can
got a bunch of
groom them.
wayward hoes,
The
when you got a bunch of wayward hoes, you know this. Women sync
All,
up, right?
all
They're
I'm
gonna work
saying
as
is
a
that
team.
the way your
So he
dad's
needs
going
more
about
men.
his dating life is so convoluted that there could be a more efficient strategy to use. Like instead of convincing girls like you're a wayward hoe, stay at my house, you could first start with maybe a coffee before she moves in.
well, you just don't understand the system. Okay, it's like outside your realm.
Alex has
Yeah.
the Eastern European mind. You need to lock them in a cage and beat them every day for 4 hours. Then they will listen.
What you do is you trick them. You make some dumbass statement like,
How long did it take you to learn how to listen?
wayward hoe. Okay, you come live with me, and then what
The
you
women, they do not listen. You need to beat them viciously every day
you
in the
beat her
cage. Then
until
they will
she
listen to you.
listens. Yeah. All right. Anyway, this I think this is a good point to wrap up on. I think we've gone for 2 hours and 10 minutes. This was one of the funnest streams I've been on in the last several months for sure. Appreciate all of you guys. Closing thoughts, Austin, Neeina, Grace.
So about the topic,
Just in general about this whole experience.
oh, this is super fun because Grace is like John Zerka, but the female version, but she doesn't even
How
like
dare
support
you
women.
insult Zerka like that?
Well, she
So-
I
doesn't
used to
do
live with
girls.
Zerka. He's my other best friend. Don't you talk shit.
Well, then how do you not like Grace? She's literally like spitting image. Neeina
Because-
has some cool lights in the background, and she's
Thank you.
Asian, which is awesome. Alex is bearded, and he's cool. And yeah, it's been fun.
He's our pimp.
It's good talking to you guys, even if we disagree. We're all friends in the end, right? Except for Neeina and Grace, but it's all good.
No, we're still friends in the end. Stop. We know each other.
Yeah.
I hope I wasn't insulting you at all, Grace. I guess I'll jump in here. No, it's always fantastic talking on your panels, Alex. Always good to hear from you. I really appreciate that. I don't know if you saw the debate I did with Ashley, but that was so much fun. You didn't see it? Oh, you should watch it. It was a lot of fun with Ashley. So thank you so much for putting me in contact with her. That was great. You're always very professional, of course, and I always enjoy coming on. So I really appreciate being on stream. It's very nice to meet you. I'm sorry, what is Austen, right?
Yeah, good
Very
meeting you.
nice to speak to you as well. I'm sorry our two other friends left, I guess, but
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
if people are right. They left and they came back and they left again.
Pussies!
I don't know what the deal with that was, but yeah.
I think they may have felt awkward with the flirting that was going on there. But no, it's also always fantastic to see you as well, Grace. As much as we like to shit, I do mean what I said. I hope that you are doing well and that the homos are not going to eat you or something.
Well, I really like talking to you guys. Austin, if you want to collab, honestly, my dad does need more men to run this house, and whatever your issues may be, he could teach you a few things, and you could be one of the what do you call it? I don't know. It's like, it's not exactly a harem, but it's like, there's a prince and then there's the lower people. So like what we do need is
A
a
eunuch?
female. No, not a eunuch. I don't know. Like you could be.
I'm like a local lord or something, but you're
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you come in, you get the bitches in order. Yeah, I mean, we should collab. And also, Neeina, if you would like to.
Listen, I'd be down, but I'm gonna vlog the entire thing and post the entire thing, and I'm gonna document
it. We stream it all, of course. That's the
dude, Alex. This would go fucking viral, dude.
Yeah,
getting to the bottom of this, at least on the surface, it has been like the most interesting story I've heard recently. So
no, Austin,
I don't know if it's on tap.
You're the lover boy, right? So you convince the girls to come over because I'm kind of like the Ghislaine Maxwell, but I'm not very good at it. So like you're the lover boy. You convince the women to come over because they like you and you're like easier for them to get along with, and then Austin, they get put in charge by the head daddy.
Don't do that.
So I'm like the lover boy Andrew Tate method, and you're like the Ghislaine Maxwell.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes. So you're both committing crimes.
No, the women freely consent. Absolutely.
Dude, this is what CNN is never going to do. This is why we are the new wave and we're taking over. CNN, Fox, they would never do a documentary on this house.
Absolutely.
No, that is true. They would not. All right, guys. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time.